Change of pace.
Welcome to the Change of Pace podcast. This is Sai and Rohan, and we are coming at you live after what is it like 7, 8 hours, 8 hours of free agency started, and already tons of news, even prior to free agency, and we're gonna get into all of it. I think we can just instead of burying the lead, we could start off with the LaMelo Ball trade. Um, News broke really, really fast. I think it all started after the Giannis trade. You just see a bunch of new, like, disgruntled teams, stars, etc. I think we started off with Giannis, then we have Julius Randle getting traded, and then we have Anthony Edwards expressing like kind of annoyance about being on the Wolves. And I remember like the night before kind of being like, okay, is like what's the Wolves deal here? Are they gonna move someone? Because without Julius Randle, they kind of look weird. And definitely like maybe their floor is higher, but their ceiling definitely is much lower without Julius Randle being there. So yeah, really not sure where they go from there. And before you know it, the next day we see, or that same night, we see the Hornets trying to get rid of LaMelo Ball. And within like a few hours, we see LaMelo Ball getting dealt to the Minnesota Timberwolves. So the official trade is LaMelo Ball and Josh Green for Naz Reid, an unprotected 2033 first rounder, and three second round picks and first round pick swaps. A decent haul, I would say, for LaMelo. It feels like they kind of sold high on him just because of the year he had, like this previous year. Um, and yeah, of course, Timberwolves getting rid of Naz Reid. Their final, like, they're basically another big man who can handle the basketball. So at this point, they have Rudy Gobert and maybe Jaden McDaniels as their power forward, assuming they're going to start Ayo and LaMelo next to Anthony Edwards. Super interesting trade. Two of the top three picks from the 2020 NBA draft. It gives them like an elite playmaker next to Anthony Edwards, who was basically complaining about getting doubled throughout the playoffs. And yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts, Si.
Yeah, this trade happened super quick, like you said. I think it was like night two of the draft.
Hmm.
People were like, LaMelo might get traded out of nowhere after the Hornets have had their most successful seasons in a long time, basically 10 years since they made the playoffs, I think. And like you said, very surprising. Minnesota ahead of the line after trading Randall. It seemed like there was a move to be made. I thought maybe Kawhi, maybe Kyrie. Turns out it was LaMelo who fits the timeline, like you said, same draft with Anthony Edwards. So those two, I think right now immediately become maybe the best backcourt in the league. Just a really dynamic duo. The value is interesting, right? Like I would say that it could be considered an underpay for what you think LaMelo might be worth at his peak. But then
Mhm.
again, the question marks come with his injury history, his lack of playoff experience for a team that's like willing to make a playoff run. So there are a lot of question marks. And Naz Reid is obviously a great player as well. But one unprotected first round pick, in my opinion, is a little surprising. The swaps, like a couple of them aren't great, right? They're like one of them, I think 2028 is like a straight up swap between the Hornets and the Wolves, but the other two are like the worst of three teams. So it's like not really great swaps in their own right. Three second round picks. It is. I feel like second round picks are just kind of throw-ins at this point in trades. So to me, it's like Naz Reid, one first round pick, one swap, and then a kind of some miscellaneous draft assets. And I just don't love that haul for LaMelo, especially when you're doing it at a selling high type of point. And again, the injury question marks with LaMelo always going to be there. So if you're not accounting for that, right, I think the Wolves kind of did their thing with this trade. I think they did a great job. When you're playing teams like the Thunder and the and the Spurs, Julius Randle just wasn't cutting it. A low post player can get doubled, can get frazzled easily, too reliant on like a mid-range jump shot, stuff that can be kind of game planned against in the playoffs. What LaMelo brings is speed, things you can get around these tough half-court defenses in the Thunder and the Wolves if you just play really fast. And LaMelo allows them to play incredibly fast, especially with the small lineup with Ayo, with Jaden. They can play super duper fast. He also brings a lot of three-point shooting, and LaMelo might shoot 23s a game. Like you can if you make 10 of those, that's 30 points a game. You're just adding to your and that variance can allow you to, get past some of these tougher nights. Because again, the Thunder, the Spurs, they don't shoot it. They shoot a good amount of threes, but like they're not super high volume shooters like some other teams. And if you have Minnesota and you catch them on a really good night shooting the ball, that can be another way to win these games. So, and then again, LaMelo, great playmaker. Um, he's big. You can't like you can hide him on defense effectively because you can place him on so many guys because of his size. And I just think like he's big for a lot of these Thunder's smaller defenders. He's fast for a lot of these bigger, rangier defenders on the Spurs. I think it's a good trade. I think it's a guy who kind of fits their what they're going for. A guy who is that kind of outer that like when Ant gets doubled doesn't allow him to get doubled, and LaMelo can just dice up these 4-on-3 situations. And then for Charlotte, again, very confused. I think you're worried about the injury concerns. You see him kind of coming off a high of playing 75 games, which is or 72 games, which is the most he's played in like 3 years. And the fact that they've almost made the playoffs, and but at the same time, you're completely losing your offensive engine. Uh, all lineups essentially, like with the Hornets, they were a negative half-court offense without LaMelo, and then with him, they were really positive. They're top five offense in the league. So I don't understand the Hornets deal here. I think the Timberwolves did a good thing by getting him. They didn't have a lot of time to draft assets. They used everything they had.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good trade for them.
I just think like what else are you supposed to do for the Timberwolves? You're kind of stuck where you are, and it's
Hmm.
hard to make improvements again, given your limited draft assets and like the weird age of your team. You're getting a little bit younger with LaMelo.
Yeah.
And then again, like you need a legitimate number two option, and Julius Randle isn't that in the playoffs. I do have concerns about LaMelo in the playoffs only because in the limited play-in experience he hasn't been great. He hasn't been very efficient. I have the stats right here actually. He's played four play-in games, and in the first game he played 2021, 4 of 14 in a minus 35 game where they lost by 27. 2022, 7 for 25 in a 29-point loss. In 2026, 12 for 31 in their first play-in win versus Miami, and then 7 for 17 in their loss to the Magic, ultimately
Yep.
removing them from playoff contention. I think again, like LaMelo is such a dynamic player. Anthony Edwards has never played with someone like that in his career. So that
Hmm.
backcourt, they fit each other very, very well. And again, you just need another like elite ball handler next to Ant. And then I think Io also just fits with him very, very well. Um, for the Timberwolves as a whole, I don't know, you kind of lose like a big band threat, and you lose the opportunity to go small. Like at times when you had Nas running the five, even next to like Julius Randle or Jaden McDaniels, like that gave them a new look. And Rudy Gobert, when he gets played off the court, you don't have like a backup option. Like they have like Baron J, I guess. He's not gonna get like he can't do that for you. So I
Yeah.
would look for the Timberwolves to make another move. I mean, even like Jacques Landale would have been nice for them to go after something. I don't even know how much money, like how they
They're
go
pretty
after
hard
people.
capped, I think, at this point,
Yeah.
at the
So
second
I'm
apron.
not
Yeah.
really sure what they can do, how much flexibility they have. But I like the move for the Wolves. In terms of the Hornets, it just seems like they're trying to do a whole culture reset for that team. I feel like the Hornets locker room did like really like LaMelo. Not sure about Miles Bridges. Obviously, we'll get to that, but he's gone too. And then they now have like Grayson Allen, I guess. Um, it's a weird I'm not really sure what they're doing. I guess we could kind of combine this with the Kobe White re-signing. So they re-signed
Yep.
him for 3 years, $74 million. Clear LaMelo replacement. I guess he's gonna be the starting point guard next to Khan at the two. Near Brandon Miller. Um, and then who's their rookie? Do they have a
Christian
rookie?
Anderson and Hans Steinbach. They have two
Oh yeah,
rookies.
oh they have Steinbach. That's a nice little
Yeah.
big man piece for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Maybe it was too fast. The winning was too fast. I don't know what they're really trying.
I think, yeah, like you said, I think the front office, they weren't LaMelo fans. They didn't draft him, right? They had this new kind of front office that came in later, after, they sold the team and everything, and they weren't like LaMelo people. And
Hmm.
I think that's a big part of it. And like you said, they probably just were waiting to kind of sell high on him and we're waiting for a good offer. And I just don't think this offer was enough to justify that, in my opinion, because you
Yeah.
get that one unprotected pick that could be good. You never know with these new lottery odds. A swap, again, could be good, but there's only one real swap here. The other two, again, like just kind of throw in draft assets, it feels like, because the Wolves don't have really any draft assets. So it feels like you kind of cut them some slack. Nas, again, great player, and it allows you to kind of parlay that trade with Miles Bridges, where you get a good asset from the Suns in that
Yeah.
2033 first round pick that we'll talk about later. So like when you include that part, I do like it a little more. But yeah, I just didn't. It feels like they're taking a step back. Where with like I don't see the direction of this team. Like, what is the focus, right? There's a clear focus. They were top five offense, like I said. They were really like turning it around on defense. Um, I don't really see like what they're going for. Who's their starting, like who's their real first option? Are they building around Brandon Miller? Are they like building around these younger guys that are they kind of creating a cohesive team and then trying to get someone in free agency? Because they did create a huge $40 million cap trade exception that we should talk about as well. So like, are they looking for a Jaylen Brown type, someone else they
Mm,
can add in the future to kind of be that number one option around all these younger guards and forwards that they have? So that's my question. I'm not sure what direction they're headed. If they do have another move to make, I'll feel a lot better because they have a lot of assets now. I think they have the most picks in the East to trade over the next 7 years. So like there's
yeah.
definitely a direction for them to go where they go, we're all in now.
To me, like they're at a good. I feel like LaMelo. I mean, he's still somewhat young. He's about like 25, 26. He's
Hmm.
still like a, but kind of like a win now piece, and he doesn't maybe quite fit the timeline with Brandon Miller and Khan.
He's like
Like
24, I think,
he's not that
24,
much older
25.
than them.
Yeah, he's definitely in
But
that like window, in my opinion.
I think that with plus the injury concerns, plus like the locker room like fit, they would rather kind of see what these young guys can do. Like if they like how much of last season, I guess they're asking themselves was because of LaMelo versus Brandon Miller, and
In my
then
opinion, it's so much more
so on.
LaMelo than the other guys.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know. I think with LaMelo, you might stay in this like I don't know. I'm not totally sure what they're doing. I don't know. We'll see. But they
Yeah,
certainly don't have a playmaker now. Like Kobe White is not that guy. He's more of a two
exactly.
of anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, they really are totally missing playmaker. Colin Sexton's off that team too. Now he get traded. I'm
He's a
not.
free agent right now.
He's free agent, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He's off that team too. They had another point guard, right? Another decent point guard.
I mean, it was Sexton who's their backup. Or sorry, it's not Sexton. Kobe White who's their backup. And
They had
then
another point guard. I don't know why is that
they
there.
drafted Christian Anderson to kind of be that like Kobe White replacement. Kobe White takes that LaMelo Ball assignment.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't, again, they lose that playmaker. They lose that offensive engine. They're still a fun team, like with a lot of
They're the
shooting and
really
offensive talent. But I'm just, they don't have the guy who makes it all go. And that's what they need at this point. So again, I would not be surprised if they make a big trade now. They're a great team in position to make a big deal. And if they do that, again, that re kind of realigns what they did here with the Miles Bridges trade and all of that. It makes a lot more sense. But I'm just like, I don't see the vision right now.
yeah.
And it was similar to the Julius Randle deal. Like I didn't really see the vision there. You lose, the cap
Yeah.
is gone down, but you basically give up a player for nothing. So just like an
Looking back,
interesting, yeah.
seeing that the switching the Timberwolves for a second, seeing how like well they did this LaMelo trade, don't you think they should have like waited and seen if they could really get something legitimate for Julius Randle? Because I mean, it feels like you could have gotten something more than just salary dump. No,
It's
because Ju
just like, I mean, maybe, but also what team would take him, has the money to take him on at this point? Who would want to take him on? I think that's one thing you got to think about.
you're getting nothing for him though.
Yeah, it's really just cap relief. And it seems like, yeah, when you make that trade, he's a complete negative asset. I just don't think that's the case.
Yeah,
It's
man.
possible. But like
Well, yeah,
like at the end of the day, it feels like they give up Randall and Nas Reed for Ball. And
exactly.
that's a lot of depth you're losing.
That's what I'm
Plus
saying.
DiVincenzo's out. Like it's a tough team. And they don't have a lot of cap space at all unless they make another move.
And for like Julius Randle, I don't even know who you get. Not even like a Noah Clowney. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
They didn't get anyone for him. Or even like Nick Lax, it doesn't make sense. But I don't know. They could have gotten someone
Yeah.
for Julius Randle because they're still not. If they had a third scoring option, they'd be more of a contender to me. But
I
they're
think
still
they're hoping Jaden can take that leap. And I
He
think
said
they're
about like
putting a lot of faith
37.
into Terrence Shannon and Io, and like again, those guys really proved their value in that Denver series. But like, and
Just that Denver series. After Io's
I
injury, it
think
was shit.
yeah, I mean, I think the question is now like you lose that identity of size, right? Like the size was a big thing, having the double big with Cat, with Nas, with Julius Randle, being able to take on teams like that had Jokic. Now it feels like this team is kind of built around speed
Mhm.
and LaMelo pushing the pace and Anthony Edwards filling the lane and getting crazy alley-oops and Jaden McDaniels really quick and Io's super duper quick. Like he's built for that type of roster. So I mean, it's a very interesting switch to what they used to have. And I think their offense is going to be great. I think the defense, again, like you said, has a lot of question marks, but I think it could be fine. It's still Rudy Gobert, it's still Jaden McDaniels, still Io and Ant.
Yeah.
Those are good defenders, but the depth is still bad.
Yeah. The depth is a huge question mark. Again, with the Julius Randle deal, you don't get any depth in
They're
that. You
still
don't
third
get,
in the West for me, TBH.
let's see.
Unless a team makes a massive leap, like,
I would take the Nuggets over them.
nah,
And
dude.
really, in the regular season,
They
you're not gonna
just
take Nuggets.
lost. Oh,
That
maybe, but I think this is more of a regular season team, honestly.
maybe.
I guess if you consider LaMelo's injury history and the lack of depth, probably, but I think
Yeah, exactly.
I think the
LaMelo
Wolves are
played
probably
70
better.
games this year, but he's played 65 combined the last two seasons before that. That's
Yeah.
pretty terrible.
I think 105 the last three combined. Like very
Wow.
little. Yeah.
What would you rate this trade for each of the two teams?
Yeah. I mean, for the Hornets, I would probably go like a C.
Hmm.
Because again, I think with how you did with the trade after with the
Miles
Bridges trade, and I think you take the draft into consideration as well. I think the overall offseason isn't terrible. It's just a completely different direction, and they have a lot of assets. And then for the Wolves, I think with the limited assets you had, and you really needed to change direction, I think they did a great job. And LaMelo's a really good player, so I would say like a B, B plus.
Like you're telling me you couldn't get a Miles Bridges level haul for Julius Randle?
Yeah, no, I agree. That's
That would be
crazy.
perfect. Like
That's
literally
crazy.
Grayson Allen and what's his
Yeah,
name? What they
Royce
get?
O'Neal.
Yeah, Royce,
Yeah,
two
yeah,
perfect pieces for that
yeah.
Timberwolves team.
I completely agree.
That doesn't
That's
make any
pretty
sense.
shocking. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And sorry, what did you give the Timberwolves?
I think a B plus.
Yeah, I'd give Timberwolves again, just given where they were. Like, this is in a vacuum. I'm forgetting they made the Julius Randle trade. Just this trade, given that they don't have Julius Randle on the roster anymore, I'd go A minus just because you have no other big choice. Like, you don't know what else to do. And then Hornets, yeah, like a C. Yeah,
You
I don't
know
know what to
what?
do.
You know what would have been way better though? You don't give away Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You pay him the same amount of money, like 20 mil a year. Don't have to worry about Io. And then you could probably get LaMelo and not have to trade away Randall for nothing. You can get some assets. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's kind of like they've made mistakes along the way that they keep having to kind of go
and
all in
Nikhil's
for.
probably better than Io, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like these playoffs, or the Hawks, and not the playoffs, but the Hawks in general, he was really, really good for them. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I tend to agree with your ratings. Let's quickly touch on the Miles Bridges trade. He doesn't deserve respect, but let's just quickly talk about it. Miles Bridges traded for Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal. Suns, I don't know what they're cooking in Phoenix. They also got what's his name, Luke Kennard. They signed him today, so like you said, they replaced Grayson Allen. I guess they just want more like create more creation. They lose a little bit of defense with the move. Miles Bridges is definitely not a great defender. Um, and offensively, yeah, he's fine. I don't know what else to say. He's been kind of the same for like 4 years, but he's like unfortunately to say he's like a pretty solid complementary piece to Devin Booker. Um, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say. This team doesn't, to me, this doesn't make them any better though, because Royce O'Neal and
Yeah.
Grayson Allen are huge parts of that team.
I think it's a pretty awful trade for the Suns. Like
Yeah.
you said, I think Miles is a good player. I think he fits in a system that, like the Hornets, where he can shoot a lot of threes, where he can get dunks in transition. And that's just not what the Suns do. They do shoot a lot of threes, so
Yeah.
that'll help him out. I just don't think they like have a lot of creators for him and to get him open shots. It feels like Dylan Brooks kind of gets the ball sometimes. Jalen Green gets the ball sometimes. Devin Booker gets the
Oh
ball
God,
sometimes.
yeah, those four don't make sense together at
And they
all.
can cook, but I don't think they work together at all. I need to, actually see it to believe it. And then the pick, like the trading away 2029 first round, or the Suns get a 2029 first round pick, but it's the least favorable of Charlotte, Utah,
Yeah,
Cleveland, and Minnesota. So it's a bad pick, essentially.
yeah.
It's going to be a bad pick and then they give away an unprotected first round pick at 2033. I completely hate this deal.
Yeah.
I think it's just a bad deal. And to like you barely have any draft assets. What you're giving up is like 20, like this is an A from Charlotte, in my opinion. Like you get two good role players who fit kind of what you're going for. Um, you get an unprotected first round pick from the Suns who don't really have much of a future. They managed to, stem the tide from what we thought they would be last year. They were a lot better. But I mean, Devin Booker is going to be like 33, 34 at that point in 2033, probably even older, my bad. But it's just like, what are we thinking? I just completely don't understand this at all.
And you get rid of Miles Bridges. Like again, full
Yeah.
locker room reset right there, which is
Yeah,
nice.
and Nas, like
That was
he's just
great.
perfect replacement for him. It's
Yeah,
not a big deal at all.
and honestly, like worst case, if the Hornets want to sell, all these guys are worth like a late first rounder at worst. And that's what
Yeah.
the Suns, if you really wanted to get rid of Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, why not wait till the trade deadline? Every single one of those guys is wanted by every contender in the league, right? You
Yeah.
can easily get a late first rounder for any of those guys. So yeah, I think it's ridiculous, unnecessary trade. I don't know what the Suns are trying to do. Um, I read or I might have listened to it, but basically they actually got very lucky in this regular season from like shooting luck. Like their opponents, um, there's a stat basically like how much you should be shooting based on the quality of your looks and what you end up
Right.
shooting. And they got a lot of shooting luck on their side from their opponents missing threes. We'll see how they do this year.
Yeah.
But the defense got significantly worse for this deal. Uh,
I don't think it's that big of a deal defensively. I think Miles is fine. He's probably as good as Royce O'Neal is as a four.
I
I
don't know.
mean,
I don't think so. I think
I just
that,
think like Royce O'Neal is like a 6 foot like seven, 6'6", like small guy as your four. Like this is a smaller team. And now you have a bigger team, which I think is just a different direction. I don't think defensively they're gonna get too much worse. I will say like I think the Hornets did a great job in getting assets because they were so biased towards getting a guy like Miles Bridges because he went to Michigan State. Matt Ishbia went to Michigan State. Jordan Ott went to Michigan State. Ishbia was 100% directly involved in this deal. Like he was like, "Oh, throw away the first round pick." That's because that's what he did with KD, right? Like
yeah,
that's what he doesn't care about the picks, and that's what's going to bite him in the future. Like he was again, he was lucky last year. Not lucky, but like they built a good enough roster last year. It's just you can't keep building a roster when you're not getting any talent in the door.
yeah,
With like none of your picks coming through. It's just not going to work out
yeah. I
unless
agree.
Malawach is like really good, but like that's no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give this for Suns, I'd give it like a C minus, and then
I think it's an
Hornets.
F, like damn
But
near. I don't think there's anything redeemable about this deal.
I agree. I agree. The
So
pick
I
is
would for the
really the
Sun.
cherry on top for that.
Yeah, and then the Hornets, I think it's a complete fleece in my opinion. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's an unnecessary trade. Um,
yeah.
let's move on to more unnecessary trades. John Morant hadn't heard from him in a while, and then randomly we see he is now getting traded to the Portland Trailblazers in what is again an extremely unnecessary deal involving no picks from either side. I think for the longest time we thought they'd have to attach a pick to John to get rid of him. They did not have to do that. The Blazers trade for John Morant. They give up Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray. I think at the surface, you'd be like, wow, the Portland Trailblazers got Ja for practically nothing. But then you realize that Ja's on this shit deal, and you see that they have a plethora of like mediocre guards on their team now. Um, and meanwhile, Grizzlies kind of just selling at this point. They got rid of Ja, didn't have to give up a pick, and now can focus completely on their young core of Zach Edey, Cedric Howard, and of course, Cam Boozer. Yeah, and now Ja coming off another disappointing year where he fought with Tommaso Solo about like the fucking just him not getting the basketball enough. Did the exact same thing the year before. Taylor Jenkins got his ass fired. And then of course Ja injury concerns is one thing, off the court issues is another thing. I guess the Blazers think they're going to rehabilitate him by buying low. it just doesn't make sense to me. The Portland Trailblazers, sorry to rant, but the Portland Trailblazers, they hung their hat last year on defense, and they would lose most of the games where they shot under like 33% from three. You get worse defensively with this deal, and you get worse in terms of shooting and depth with this deal. And you add a guy who's been a locker room cancer, who has lost athleticism using injuries, and is the same position as one of your most promising young players. And you have a 35-year-old Damian Lillard coming off a fucking Achilles tear, who's going to be starting next to him in the backcourt. Probably the worst relevant defending backcourt in the NBA. I don't get it.
I will take the devil's advocate side here.
Please.
I don't hate the deal. Uh, Jeremy Grant had a good season last year. The couple years before that were just atrocious. As soon as he signed that deal, it's been very bad and is definitely a negative contract. Jeremy and Ja, same amount of years left. Ja makes a little more money, around 8 mil, which is what that Chris Murray kind of, you know, offsides for. So really you're taking on a little bit more money and you're taking an experiment here with Ja. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That's fine. But it's not like you gave up a whole lot, in my opinion. Now, I do agree. It makes no sense to start Dame and Ja. It makes no sense to have this many guards. At this point, you can play Drew at the three. It's not a big deal. You can play him at a wing position. But yeah, like you have Scoot, you have Shaden Sharp, you have Ja, you have Dame, obviously. So, like I don't exactly understand that. And you know, you have a new head coach coming in who really doesn't have like experience trying to deal with a lot of these guys. Like there's like it's just a big roster of guards that you're gonna have to figure out. So like if there was a trade coming on the way where you kind of consolidate a lot of these guys, would make a lot more sense. I just think the buy low on Ja is fine. I don't think it's a bad thing. Um, Perhaps some of this is injury where he, you know, has become a worse player. It's perhaps it's not. It's not a bad experiment to take, is all I'm thinking. Maybe you can rehabilitate some of his value, trade him in the future. Maybe you can't. His contract washes out in 2 years anyways. Like this year and then the next, he's an expiring. Maybe you can get rid of him that way. I just don't think it's a huge deal. Like it's a very safe. It's like not as it's like a it's a very it's not a big deal, is what I mean. Like it's just it doesn't matter that much. Jeremy was fine for them.
Yeah, it's not
Awful
about
in the playoffs, just awful in the playoffs. So I
it's
think
not
they wanna if Dame isn't that guy coming back from injury, maybe you have Ja be that guy. So there's like you know, there's it's an experiment either way. If Dame isn't that guy, like you know, because he's off an Achilles tear, there's a risk there. If Ja isn't that guy just because he sucks, there's a risk there too. So it's like you can figure out which one it is and which is your point guard who can maybe give you a playoff run.
just feels like an unnecessary deal. I feel like you guys, the Blazers are finally like their young guys are finally taking a step forward and they found this identity with
Yeah.
Den leading the way. John needs the ball in his hands. He's incapable of playing off ball. You're
Yeah.
taking away from what worked last year rather than leaning into your strengths. You are completely throwing it away. Like John needs the ball to be effective. And yes, like yeah, it's a flyer for 2 years. It's still a waste of 2 years if it doesn't work out. And I think it probably like I think
It's not a
Josh
waste. It's like you're looking at the prices. Jeremy Grant, he's not that good. He had a good year. He sucked in the playoff. I think he's like kind of a fluky player.
no, he's not. I don't think Jeremy Grant is good either, but I think you can also
And
there's other ways to get rid of that money than taking on another $40 million contract with
I think
someone.
if they would, they would have. Like if they were trying to upgrade off that, right? Like if you're trading away Jeremy Grant, you're trying to get better, but he seems like a negative asset. So why not get a similarly negative asset, in my opinion? It's like not the end of the world.
I don't know. I would rather just wait. Like, because the problem is it's like almost addition by subtraction, only the opposite. It's like
Hmm.
subtraction by addition because wouldn't you rather you don't have to play Jeremy Grant, right? But you have to play Ja. And
Yeah.
Ja's flaws are gonna sink this team. I promise that I hope he's good. I really do. I was a huge fan of him before the Warriors rivalry for that 1 year. But like I don't think he has it anymore. And he's gonna expect you expect the Blazers like owner and GM will expect Ja to be featured significantly in this offense. And that's an issue, especially given how Scoot performed in the playoffs and the small flashes he showed of shooting coming around. Um, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't disagree. I'm not a fan of this deal at all either. I just don't think it's like the worst chance to make. like I would I rather they do something else? Yes, but
I, it is. But like Jaws trade value is never going to be lower. I just feel like you guys had a good thing going. This isn't like I don't even know what team to like this isn't like the Kings trading for. Imagine if they didn't have a cup. This isn't like the Kings trading for him. The Kings are at rock bottom, right? They'll do
mhm.
anything. The Blazers have a good thing going. Like
Yeah,
they're on the rise. They played like a couple competitive games last year against the Spurs. Like they blew a huge lead. They could have taken two from the Spurs,
right.
right? I don't know. I think, and Denny just had an amazing year. Denny's defense fell off a little bit last year because of the offensive load. Ja, what the fuck is he gonna do? He's gonna make it worse. So, and
Fair.
expect the ball. And let's not even get into the off court stuff. We all know about that. Like, come on. But
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, I would probably give it like a from the Blazers, I would give it like a C minus. And then Grizzlies. I don't know. You got rid of Ja. I think that's one less thing. And Jeremy Grant, like who knows? He's always a tradable player. I mean, supposedly, always a tradable player. I give it like a B
If he
minus.
was, he would have been traded. I don't think so.
I
I
think,
would.
mm,
I'm very similar with your grades, though. I think that's fine. Like a C minus and a B minus. I think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we move on? What is the next trade that we would discuss? Sai, why don't you tell us our next
Yeah.
like news piece?
I, I think we could combine these with the Lakers. The Lakers
Mhm.
have extended Austin Reeves. Let me find the number real quick. Uh,
It's like 4 165 or something. Am I wrong?
it is shoot, I cannot find it. Or 185 with the
185.
player option in year four. So he basically got his max. It did seem like for a minute the Lakers were going to lowball him, and then the Pistons showed interest, the Nets showed interest, and they were immediately like, no, we got to give him the
Yeah.
max. So they get their guy. He's their second option. What do you think? Do you think they is he too expensive? Like $40 million plus for Austin Reeves is a lot.
Mm, no, I think that's fair. I think when he was healthy, he was playing like an all-star, like a top 20, 25 player when he was healthy to start the
Yeah, yeah,
year.
right.
His fit next to Luca before LeBron came looked amazing. They started off
Hmm.
the season really hot. I mean, he was averaging like 27, 6 and 6 or something before he went down with injury. And the fit after LeBron came back kind of became wonky just because like he became like third option.
Yeah.
I think the Lakers, I mean, we're going to talk about LeBron shortly. They're moving on and they have no choice but to pay him. Like, what's the alternative here? They still do have a shit ton of money freed up with LeBron gone. They have like $50 million in cap room they can spend. I know they're losing all their guys. Luke Kennard, Marcus Smart is going to leave. Rui's going to leave probably. They got Ayton back. But I think it's like a fresh slate, and you have Reeves and Luca who are still both under 30 years old. So. They're still, I mean, Reeves is
I
entering his prime and Luca's still
think
pretty.
Reeves might be 30, low-key.
Is Reeves 30? No.
He's 28. Oh, I'm way off.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
both, I mean, Luca's probably also like around 28.
26, 27. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So you have like, they're at a good age to compete, raise 27. They're at a good age to compete. And I don't know. I think you got to do, I don't even think it's like you question it. Like, I think it's a no-brainer move they did. And honestly, I would go after Jalen Duren if I'm them. Like, I would go hard at Jalen
They're still
Duren.
doing, yeah, it says they're going after him. This,
I,
I think Mark
that'd be a
Spears also
great
said the
piece.
Pistons would match whatever the Lakers say. So we'll see.
But it's fine. It's still worth it to go after him. Like
Yeah,
make the
and
Pistons
Walker
spend some
Kessler.
money.
It seems like they're
Yeah,
going after both of those guys.
I definitely prefer Jalen Duren for that team just because we've seen him as like a lob threat next to Cade. Only now he actually has legitimate spacing and he is one of the best playmakers of all time. Two elite playmakers, one of them being one of the greatest of all time on his
Hmm.
team. And you know the Lakers are going to get some shooting somehow.
Looks
So
like
it's
they're
definitely
signing Quentin Grimes and Mamu. It's not like confirmed, but it's like
that would
very
be
leaning
huge.
towards, yeah.
That would be huge for them. One thing though, the defense is atrocious for the Lakers. Like it's looking
That's
really
what,
bad.
yeah.
Um, even with even with the Jalen, I mean, again, Jalen Duren's not some elite defender, but you have Reeves and Luca, and then you have Quentin Grimes, who's an average defender best, and then you have Mamu. Mamu's not a bad defender, I think, but it's you don't have a stopper basically,
Right.
and yeah, that's I'm like totally tapped out of like where the Lakers are going to be in the standing next year because it just feels like they have like four players on their roster right now, or
Yeah,
four real
exactly. The
players.
the roster's not complete at all. They could definitely get there if Palinka kind of builds a pretty competent team around him.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. I don't think they're like we could decide that yet.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Uh,
yeah. And
but
then the other thing with the Lakers is LeBron obviously said he's not coming back, which was a crazy thing to hear. Because it did seem like, in my opinion, it was either the Warriors or he goes back to the Lakers because they had the money to do it. But it seems like maybe the LeBron doesn't see them as contenders. Maybe the bridges are burned kind of too far. It could be a little bit of that as well, or just like he wants to be happy. He said he's choosing happiness here, and maybe the Lakers isn't what he wants to do.
yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, from all the reports we're hearing, he doesn't care about the money. I think he's been somewhat disgruntled for a while. We've heard very similar reports and we thought they weren't true, but now we have the official thing that he's been unhappy. So we kind of put two and two together, and it seems like since they traded for Luca, the Lakers have just been like prioritizing his happiness, I guess, or just like building around him over LeBron, rightfully so. But it clearly rubbed LeBron the wrong way. I think it actually might also be possible that they didn't consult LeBron on the AD trade um now that we like
That's
have all
true.
the details. And then we have so the top three guy teams for LeBron right now are the Heat, Cavs, and of course the Warriors. Um the Cavs don't have the money to sign him right now. They have to free up some. I think
But
they have to
he
get
would
rid of
have to set a minimum basically,
yeah.
unless they are. It looks like they lost Keon Ellis, they lost Dean Wade. It looks like they're also trying to trade Max Strus and Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, that would be what they need to get rid of. That's all their depth.
Yep.
Uh, they'll have like Sam Merrill off the bench now. I mean, which is still great, but that's all
Maybe Jared Allen.
they get rid of Jared Allen, you think?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he goes to the Lakers, sign and trade.
That's a whole new team right there.
Yeah.
That's an interesting sign and trade. Yeah, that's a whole new team. I don't know if the Cavs would be as willing to do. It feels like they have to kind of swing for the fence though. They are interested. I don't think LeBron wants to go back to Cleveland. No, I think he wants to stay in good weather. He said he wants to think about his family. I think the Warriors, the obvious bet. Family's in LA. He's been talking about teaming up with Steph. We heard this rumblings like this last season. Draymond obviously declined his player option for
Hmm.
$27 million, basically giving us the flexibility to go after someone and then he can sign afterward. That's huge. I think that's huge. I think the Heat are another obvious first team to get LeBron. Um, Not sure if he's gonna be interested in going after Giannis was traded. Like it kind of makes him look not the best. I don't know. I don't know. I think the Heat, if I was to order the likelihood of these trades, it would be, or these signings, it would be Warriors, then Heat, then Cavs. And then it says there's like dozens of teams who are also interested in him. So we'll see what ends up happening. But I think those are like three clear contenders for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the report says. I feel like it's going to be some surprise team, to be honest. I really have an inkling about the Spurs for some reason because they just have a
No.
good team. He's the perfect fit. They need kind of a 3-4 guy who can really play make. They have the money, and they're also not looking for long-term deals. I believe that Jake Fisher reported that. So like
Mm.
that makes a lot of sense for LeBron. Also, who's a contender, they're looking for a contender. But yeah, if it's not that, I think it's the Warriors because of the Rich Paul influence. Like it seems like he wants Draymond and LeBron and then AD to be all on the same team, and we'll see about the AD stuff because the
Yeah,
Wizards
AD
aren't
stuff
are
is
saying they don't want to trade him, but like
yeah.
you never really know. So yeah, I think it's the Warriors. I don't really see the Heat vision. Again, I don't think they have any money, so I feel like it's equally there between the Cavs and the Heat. And I feel like if the emotional attachment is one of the reasons, I think the Cavs have the edge personally. And with the Giannis thing as well, I feel like he wouldn't want to be completely overshadowed by another star like he was with Luca. I feel like the Cavs make a little more sense there. But it could be any of these teams. That's the real fun of this. Like LeBron's getting another decision and it could be anywhere. And that's like we really don't have a huge amount of intel on where he's going to end up, which is really fun. And pretty like wild for LeBron. Like usually it feels like we kind of have an idea where he's headed.
Yeah. I mean, it's like kind of surreal because for the first
Hmm.
time, it feels like the Warriors actually are like clearly. the favorites. Even if we have throw like the Spurs in there, from what the reports are saying, it feels like
Yeah,
if you were to bet, the Warriors would probably be the team you bet on.
I agree. Yeah, for sure.
Insane. Like seriously, when I saw that report today, I was really excited. As a LeBron hater, obviously, it's still pretty insane that there's a possibility of him
At the
joining.
very least, like those tickets are gonna be so expensive,
Dude,
dude.
fuck me. Like, I don't know I gotta go though. Like
You
imagine
gotta, yeah.
owning a LeBron Warriors jersey. Jesus Christ, that's so weird. Yeah, that'll be insane. Imagine him retiring on the Warriors too. Like that
God, that
basketball
looks so ugly, dude. Oh my God.
so amazing to watch. Like, if we don't get AD, it's like Steph, Jimmy, LeBron, Draymond, Porzingis. I don't hate that lineup. Everyone's healthy. Like Rick Celebrini gonna
That's
be
a great
working
lineup, healthy.
double overtime. Um, on that, the spacing's a little sus, but LeBron can shoot now. You have
LeBron can shoot, KP can shoot, Steph can shoot, Jimmy can somewhat shoot.
Horford off the bench. GP wants to come back, and you have some young guys in Pajemski and UV Axel, Will
Yep.
Richard. It's a very solid team. Moses Moody will have to go though. That's one important thing if we want
Right.
to clear up space for LeBron, which is unfortunate. He's also has like a patellar tendon thing problem, I
Yeah.
think.
Right.
He's gonna be out till next calendar year, like Jimmy, which is unfortunate, but yeah, it's pretty insane that this is a possibility. Excited to see. He seems like he's gonna really get take his time with this. So
Hmm.
even by the next pod, I don't think it'll be decided.
Yeah, we'll
Depends on the
see
pod.
for
So
sure.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's touch on
Um,
the Thunder real quick.
yeah, let's do
Or
that real quick.
yeah, go ahead. Take it over.
Okay, so now a couple pieces of news we have from the OKC Thunder. They trade Isaiah Joe after trading Aaron Wiggins. They trade Isaiah Joe to the Pistons for two second round picks. I think that's a great deal for both sides. You'd think Isaiah Joe might have a little more value, so I'm a little disappointed as a Thunder fan, but at the same time, everyone knows there's kind of a fire sale by the Thunder. They don't have a ton of leverage, and the Pistons get a great shooter who really kind of automatically gives them what they need, more shooting, which helps. And then they sign iHeart for three. Basically, he
375,
accepts
right?
his team option and
Mhm.
then gets another 2 years on top of that. So it's the total years are 3 years, 75 mil. He does have a 15% trade kicker, which kind of is unfortunate, makes it a little harder for him to get traded, especially after the Thunder did draft Ademara. So he kind of felt like the future iHeart replacement. Now it'll be a little more interesting to see how that works. But yeah, I mean, the it seems like for the most part the Thunder are running it back as well. Dort is accepted as player option, so now the Thunder are still over the second apron. I don't know if they're going to shed cat salary. There might just be a team where they're like okay being over the second apron, which
Yeah,
feels weird because we have so many draft picks and stuff like that. It doesn't matter too much, right? Because we have so control of so many other people's draft picks. It doesn't matter if ours are frozen or contracts are aggregated and stuff like that. But yeah, the limitations are the limitations. So maybe Presti does try to trade other guys. Like maybe if Dort isn't the guy who gets traded, maybe it's a guy like Sorber, Topic draft picks who haven't really worked out for us because of injuries. That would be the other direction to go. But yeah, it seems like again, OKC's running it back. They're not making any major moves, and we'll see how that turns out for them.
that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, do you think it's like there is anyone that you guys would want to go after? Gary Trent is available. Um,
Uh,
I don't know. Like, I don't know who you. I guess you just kind of want to. There's no reason to be rash, and you guys clearly have a genuine excuse for why you weren't able to beat the Spurs in that J-Dub was not healthy.
and
Um,
AJ Mitchell.
and AJ Mitchell was out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's all it is. Like health and again, we have some more younger guys who can kind of fill in the roles we were missing.
Yeah.
It would help.
Oh God. Cool.
All right. We took a break from the last pod. We're now going to restart with the Kawhi trade. And so Kawhi Leonard was obviously traded back to the Toronto Raptors, with his previous team from the LA Clippers, in exchange for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, two first round picks, a pick swap, and two second round picks, I believe.
Yep.
So again, pretty crazy deal. It kind of again similarly happened to the LaMelo deal where it was kind of fizzling. There was definitely uh
Right, it's very noteworthy that like right as we press record, he starts taking a shit. Okay, yeah, continue.
yeah, I mean, it seems like the Clippers were willing to trade him away after again. selling high kind of on him having a healthy year in LA,
Yeah.
but now he is a Raptor moving over to the East. What do you think about this trade?
I think it's like an incredible fit after we saw what Scotty Barnes did in the playoffs. I think that's
Mhm.
like the biggest thing to talk about. It's like I think Nate Duncan compared it. He was like Jaylen Brown was also an option, but Kawhi just kind of fits them better. And
Mhm.
Kawhi just fits with anyone, right? But they could have used another ball handler. He fits in terms of defense. I think RJ Barrett is now more of a question mark, even though he was good for them in the playoffs, both as like a slasher and a playmaker. It's just like, what is that fit exactly? He now becomes much more expendable. I feel like because Kawhi can be that secondary playmaker. Next, Scotty Barnes. Um, and then in terms of like how much they gave up, they did give up like a pretty significant pick. It's like a what 2033 pick
It
or
was
something. It
it was
or
2031 and 2033
20,
unprotected picks.
yeah, those are pretty important picks because Kawhi, shit, he might be retired by then.
Mhm.
And then, um, yeah, Scotty, but we're not really sure what that team will be. But if they're good now, I would assume they're not that great in the future. So it's definitely valuable picks. From the Clippers perspective, I could analyze it a little more from the Raptors. I think this now very clearly puts them on the tier, but like somewhere maybe breaking into the Knicks. I mean, not even the Celtics anymore. It's just the Knicks, right? Because like Celtics, we'll talk about it, are gone out of that tier.
Mhm.
Maybe like the Sixers are now the new team in that tier, but I think they're definitely like through like definitely better than the Cavs now, like 100%. We already saw them in a dogfight push the Cavs to 7. I think they're clearly in that like 1B tier of teams if the Knicks stand alone in the East, possibly better than the Bucks. I mean the Heat, just because the fit is so seamless. Like they have like decent spacing, I guess, and like the defense is just incredible. And if Kawhi can stay healthy, I think it's a very, very scary team. Um, they kept his trainer from 2019 when he played like 60 games and did the load management. And yeah, so pretty scary stuff for the like as a Raptor. Like you should be pretty excited if you're a Raptors fan. Switching perspectives, the Clippers. I I don't really know. Like, I think the 2031 and 33 picks are great. I think like that's all you really wanted. Ingram, I doubt he's on that team for more than a couple of years. They're not like their starting lineup is now like Darius Garland, Benedict Mathurin, Ingram. I don't think Wagler's going to start for him. Um, so I don't know. They're not a competitive team. They're trying to lose, I guess, but they don't even have their pick this year, right?
No, they have swap rights with the Thunder.
Okay, so Thunder get the better of the two picks.
Hmm.
So yeah, they're not in the best situation, but I think those two picks are super valuable. I think there's probably not a lot of better packages out there for Kawhi at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, I mean, when we were talking about it earlier, though, you were like, no, like no way two picks are enough with Grady Dick and BI, because again, those two are
I
might be
just thought
negative
you would
assets
have
at
to
this
give up
point.
CMB, bro. Like Grady Dick
I
sucks.
agree.
Has to be a
Yeah.
total turn point for his career if he wants to
Hmm.
survive in the NBA because he's not good. CMB, like, I guess the Clippers had zero leverage, because
Yeah.
Kawhi has like, I mean, he has a couple years left on
He
his
has
deal.
1 year left on his deal,
But
and he
does he?
wanted
Oh,
an
really?
extension. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Um, I don't know. I just felt like they would have to give up a young star or young asset in CMB, but they got it done without him. And now it's like insane having Scotty Barnes, CMB, and Kawhi on the
Yeah.
same team. That's elite. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I would say I agree. I mean, for the Raps, it's a slam dunk because Brandon Ingram was awful against the Cavs, legitimately terrible in all
yeah,
those big moments. He had maybe one good game, and Kawhi Leonard just fits exactly what Brandon Ingram did, but just better on both ends completely.
yeah,
He's a near top 10 player. Like last year, he was all NBA second team and was
yeah.
just excellent. So immediately you vault into like that contender status, right? Like the defense could be terrifying. The question marks are still the guard play and then the bigs, right? Is Jakob Poeltl any
Yeah.
good? Is CMB like is he a real starting caliber center or is he kind of more of like a fun guy
He's
you
a
like to throw
four.
out there for 30 minutes a game, but like not a real
Is
starter
CMB a
and closer?
center? I wouldn't even. He's not
He's
even a center.
he's
He's
been
more of
playing
like a
center for them.
four. I feel like he's so undersized for a center.
No, I agree. He's like 6'8", like he's a
Yeah,
small center, but like that's the options they have at this point, right? It's Jakob or him because Mamu would play some minutes there as well. But in that Cavs series, he was playing center. So like that's the question. Is
yeah,
he starting? Who's kind of that they're big for them? And then again, is Quickly gonna start? Is Shed gonna start? Those are fine options. They're okay,
hmm
but I'm not like super convinced they're reliable playoff level
totally.
guys. But the
Yeah,
fact that you have this tandem of Scotty and Kawhi is just like that's terrifying. If you're the wings on any other team going up against that, their wingspans can stretch across the court, baseline to baseline, it feels like. Um, so I think
yeah,
that the defense will be awesome, like as you expect, and I think the offense would just be like a level better.
yeah.
So I'm completely fine with giving this. Also, Kawhi, you're gonna sign him for an extension. I think he's a good player to have for an extension. He's really shown no signs of really slowing down as a player. It's really just been the injury history. So the
It's the
question is,
injury.
can he stay long for like 4 playoff rounds? I doubt it. So
Yeah,
that's maybe like the problem there. But like I think he could get you to a conference finals. And I think that swing, like once you're there, you're a contender. So like I don't think that's a bad swing at all. On the Clippers
yeah,
side, like you said, I just wish they kind of handled the Paul George thing differently in hindsight. Like they got Garland for Harden. They got Zubats. They got Wagler and another pick for Zubats. And then they got this
yeah.
package for Kawhi. And I think they've done a
They
great
had a
job
very
at across
solid.
those three. I think
hmm
Paul George, you kind of dropped the ball there where you just lose him for nothing.
Just lose him.
So
Yeah.
otherwise, I feel like they would have come into a great position for a rebuild, but they don't really have their centerpiece yet. Maybe Wagler will become
hmm
that guy. Garland's a little
hmm
older and just doesn't really fit the timeline of a full rebuild. And they might not even
Yeah.
really prioritize him. We don't know what the direction of the Clippers is. So
hmm
yeah, now we'll see what this team is. I am
It's
pretty
a very
surprised this happened,
mediocre.
honestly.
I mean, I don't really know what the alternative is. Like I think the Raptors saw like that step they took, it's time to capitalize. And
Yeah,
Ingram is like next year they're not gonna get that much better unless they move Ingram, right? Like they
right.
definitely had like we thought they were the epitome of mid. They're upper mid. They're like very good at certain things, but they had a clear ceiling. And so now they get like a bona fide like
Yeah.
25 points per game scorer who can play both ends of the floor and he can be a decent playmaker. He's a veteran. So I
Another
think it was a great move for him.
I agree. And another thing with this is this team was really kind of like salary cap wise. They were like at the first apron and they kind
hmm
of was losing depth because of it. So, with Ingram, it feels like he's kind of a bad contract at this point. You extended him for like 35 mil plus for like the next 3 years. So you would have to attach a pick to get rid of him. And
Yeah.
now you get Kawhi. So this is basically like you're giving up really like maybe 2 picks instead of and Grady Dick's not great, but like it's you're not giving up all that much. So I think it's a great trade for them.
Yeah, because no one wants Ingram, honestly. Like no one.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah,
it's a very
great trade for them.
DeRozan type of player. The
Exactly.
question is like the aspiration of it all, right? That the investigation's
Dude,
still
that's
ongoing.
some bullshit. No, I saw
Yeah,
like someone said that Kawhi is doing this so the FBI can't be on his tail anymore. Also, I think the owner of the Raptors is on the board of governors.
he's like the head of
For
the
the
board of the governors. So like
yeah,
he
so they're
decides.
gonna stop investigating into this. Like, come, this is such bullshit.
That
Uh,
is what Paulo Toro was saying, I think. So like
and it's
that's why it
so
was such a
sus.
big good deal. Yeah,
It's so sus because he fucking left Toronto after a year after like he left when 95% of people would not leave, so he clearly didn't like care for it that much. Like yes, he won and he'll always have a connection to the city, but he didn't
yeah.
care to stay there after they won a championship. But now suddenly it's kind of convenient that like, oh yeah, I'd love to go to Toronto now and retire
Well,
there.
I
Give me a
I
fucking
mean, I
break.
think it's more a money thing at this point, to be honest. I think the aspiration stuff, to me, it seemed like because of that, it'll still come out. Like the league office is still doing their like investigation. Like they hired the Ernst and Young law office to like do their investigation.
Yeah.
But it's up to the board of governors to enforce like a punishment on Kawhi slash the Clippers. So I think, maybe
Yeah.
maybe their punishment will be like you got to give them the picks back, and it's just like we basically get Kawhi for free. I doubt that'll happen. That seems highly illegal. But yeah, it's an interesting thing for sure. If you were to grade it, how would you go?
I think the Clippers now, like, yeah. Oh, for the I think the picks are good, and I think Ingram is still like he has all the he's probably he should be like I feel like Garland still is like I but we'll see how Garland is. Yeah,
You're kind of
he's
cutting
hitting
in and
all
out,
season.
dude.
I feel like they can up the.
Yeah, like it's really
Can you hear
horribly now. Yeah, now it's kind of clear.
me?
Okay, now
Your
it's
number
still
one.
bad. It's back to bad.
This area might be bad. Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just feel like this is a time for the Clippers to up Ingram's trade value. He's basically going to be able to, I mean, they're going to try to win games, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know, some team could take a flyer on him the way the Raptors did. Like this is going to turn into another Pelican situation. I feel like it's a very similar level team of like the Pelicans from for the last couple years, where you have like interesting pieces, but you're definitely not going to like at best you're like a bottom tier play-in team. But Ingram can put up like 24 a game on decent efficiency and show those flashes that he has as a decent defender, and someone might throw you like a first round pick for him or something. So I think that's really what the Clippers are gonna. That's Ingram's future with the Clippers. The two picks are super valuable, and at least you're kind of just like done with that iteration of your team. That's why I give it an A minus. I'm not totally sure, like if you could have gotten more value for Kawhi, like only two first round picks for like given how good Kawhi was last year. I feel uh like a low ball. I'm not totally sure if it is. I feel like that just might be what he's worth now, given his age and given his contract situation. But yeah, and then maybe like Grady Dick, you could kind of turn him around. Not totally sure about that, but I give the Clippers an A minus. I'll give the Raptors also like an A. Like you chose a direction. Like you're going all in on winning right now, and why not? Um, and I think they're now like at the top tier of teams in the East. So yeah,
Yeah. I think the fact that Ingram and Grady Dick are the only players, like again, like I said, if you were to get CMB in the deal or
yeah.
some type of young asset like a player, not just picks, I would have liked to steal a lot more for the Raptors. So that's where I'm kind of like a B minus for them. They
Oh,
just don't
B
have a
minus. Wow.
centerpiece. They just don't have a centerpiece for
Hmm.
the rebuild, right?
Yeah.
Again, Garland, Brandon Ingram, both like middle age, they're vets at this point of their careers. They're not really fitting
Oh
a
yeah.
rebuilding timeline. So they feel like guys like, okay, we can kind of straddle the middle with, and that's just not a direction. I mean, maybe, for this new lottery reform, it's not a bad idea to go with, honestly. Like you can get the
Hmm.
number one pick that way in the future. Again, like they said, OKC can swap their pick, but they do own their pick in 2029, 2030.
Yeah.
So, it is
Also, that they get like a
interesting.
high pick. Yeah. I guess
Uh,
like them not getting a younger asset is definitely like yeah, they could have done better
and
for
then
that.
for the Raptors, I think they did a great job. Like replacing Brandon Ingram with Kawhi Leonard is just such an immeasurable difference. And they were an already good team. Like they were a team that was kind of in an interesting cap situation, where they didn't have a lot of optionality, and now they were able to upgrade in a huge way without,
Yeah.
really giving up a lot of assets. So I think it's an A for them.
Yeah. I mean, Kawhi is just a much, 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 much better version of Brandon Ingram.
Yep.
So yeah, it's I think definitely a win for the Raptors. I see why like you lowered it for the Clippers. Yeah, not getting CMB is like when you're trading
Mhm.
someone of Kawhi Leonard's caliber is kind of surprising. You're not able to get one promising young piece in the deal. But
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
okay.
The next trade we have to go over is a sign and trade. This is the Lakers trading for Walker Kessler from the Jazz. Utah gives up Walker Kessler, and the Lakers they give up their 2031 and 2033 unprotected first round picks and their 2028 and 2030 pick swaps. What do you think? I thought
That
this was
is
an insane
insane.
overpay.
That is fucking insane, bro, for a couple of
Yeah.
reasons. That
Yeah.
the Mitchell Robinson news dropped right before the Kessler news. Mitchell Robinson is making like I think like 15 mil over 3 years, like 47 million over 3 years.
Hmm.
And Walker Kessler is getting like more than double that. That he's
Yeah.
making like 34 million a year. That is fucking nuts. for a
Insane.
guy who hasn't really improved that much over the last. He's very good. Who
Hmm.
hasn't improved that much, who's been injured the last year, and then on top of that, the money is one thing. You gave up two unprotected first rounders for him and two pick swaps on top of that. That part is also crazy to me. I mean, again, I don't know. I'm not sure how much of a drop there is between Walker Kessler and Mitchell Robinson. I find it hard to believe they couldn't go after Mitchell Robinson
Hmm.
to fill that role. Walker Kessler, not a great offensive, but he's very efficient, I guess, around the rim, and he's like kind of shot the three. But he's not. He's definitely not going to give you like 15 a game. And again, availability is a question. The defense, elite. Yeah, he's an elite rim protector. That's great. Good lob catcher. But no, I think I think the Jazz completely fleece the Lakers in this deal.
Yeah, I completely agree. The Lakers were desperate, right? It was Duran or Kessler. They had to make a deal, and Duran
Yeah,
would have just required way more in a sign and trade, so they went with Kessler. And again,
yeah,
what Kessler and Duran both would have been like whatever contract they offered them, uh, they just would have been matched. So it would have just been a lost cause. You come
yeah,
out of this offseason with basically nothing. As a real centerpiece at this, like a person who matches kind of what Luka and Reeves as a defender. So again, I like the
yeah.
match. It's a good addition for the Lakers team. I actually think the contract is fine. It's a little overpay. He's
Really?
young. He's 24 years old, 4 years,
He's young.
35
That's
mil a
fine,
year.
but it feels like a lot. Given like I don't know how many wins he's adding for you.
I think a
Like
decent
I don't.
amount,
It's just
especially like just because you have Luca and Reeves, he's a perfect fit. You need a real rim protector. Like I agree with you that Mitchell Robinson is like not that much better. I think the
yeah.
injury thing is a difference there. And then also like Walker Kessler was injured last year, but other than that, he's played
Exactly.
about
We're talking about a
58
guy
games.
coming off an injury though. Like,
It's
and he's
it's
never
it's a
been
it's the
been in a
Jazz.
winning
They don't even
environment in
want
his
them to
life.
play. They
He's
don't want
been,
them to
yeah, I
play.
know that
Them to
Mitchell
play.
Robinson has been on winning teams and Walker Kessler has not. I think that's like also a big thing. I don't know. And Mitchell
Yeah,
Robinson has been healthy the last year. That's like a big deal to me too.
I
So,
don't know if that's really reliable. It feels that one feels more like a fluke than a real thing. This one
yeah,
feels more like a fluke in another way. Because again, Mitchell Robinson's been injured every other year of his career, basically.
yeah,
Like he's had injury issues every other year.
yeah.
And then he even like, broke his pinky going into the finals. Just shit happens with him. Um, but yeah,
He
again,
wasn't getting the
I don't
finals.
think the Kessler thing is like huge. It feels like one of those things that the Jazz did. Like, okay, you have a nagging shoulder injury. Let me just take you out of the season so we can tank even harder. It's not like a
Yeah,
real. Let just get the surgery right now so you don't have to worry about it. It's not like a real injury where he's an injury prone player. I don't get that vibes from him at all. And he's a
maybe
guy
not.
who's shown to have offensive upside. He's taking more threes. I think that 3-point shot could be a weapon for him in the
Yeah,
future.
I agree with that part. Yes.
I
Yeah.
think he reminds me of Klingon. Like I think they're just very similar
Yeah,
players.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Klingon,
That was Klingon's thing coming out of
yeah, yeah,
college. Wasn't that his comparison? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Klingon again has probably a little better of an offensive rebounder, but like he's a very good offensive rebounder as well. I think just he's a
He's pretty
very,
mobile
very
too,
yeah, he's pretty
like
mobile,
for
can
someone that
pass
big.
pretty
Yeah.
well. Like he's a very good starting caliber center. I think his offensive game has potential to really improve, especially in this Lakers system with two other offensive, real great creators around him. But his role is also
Yeah.
going to be pretty simple right now. Just catch lobs, maybe pick and pop on the like just to develop that part of his game.
Yeah.
I think it's
But
again
is he
not
worth two unprotected first
no,
rounders
absolutely not. The trade is
in
unacceptable,
2030? The Lakers are not going to be
completely
good,
unacceptable. They could be
right?
good. They have Luka Doncic.
Wait, 2030 is like 4 years from now, bro. I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
he's going to be 30, 31, 32.
Yeah, I don't know. I
No, I agree.
this
The
could
trade is
yeah.
insane. I think it's like an A plus home run for the Jazz to get two unprotected
Yeah.
first round picks
I mean,
and two
they've
pick
been trying to get
swaps.
rid of him anyway. Like, that's the crazy part to me, right? Like,
Yeah.
Walker Kessler has been on the trade block
Well,
for so long.
he's been on the trade block because he wants to be out of Utah, because he wants to make money somewhere else.
So then
It's
why are
not
you
like
giving up
a
fucking picks for him? Like, his value is low.
that's what I agree with. Like I don't understand the
Yeah.
trade at all.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying
Um,
he's bad. Like, I'm not
yeah.
saying that they want to trade him because he's bad. I'm saying that
Yeah.
you have leverage here. Like it's not like there's other teams banging down the door. Like the first thing they do in free agency is sign Walker Kessler to $35 million after
I
giving
don't.
up 4 picks for him.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if they have a ton of leverage because Utah just would have matched whatever offer they gave. But the offer that they did have to give up was just insane. The
It's a
fact
lot of
that
money.
Ainge had like could strong arm Palinka this hard, where basically like just give me every single one of your draft assets for him, and we'll call it a deal. That's just insane to me. Now it
Yeah.
does raise a couple of question marks because like, what is the Jazz? What are the Jazz going to do? They signed Jackson Hayes to be their center. They re-signed Yusuf Nurkic. They have Kyle Filipowski. So like their center position's a little weird.
And they have Laurie and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, but it felt like they were
play
going to go
that
really
position for
big
him.
anyways. That was kind of their vibe. Like three,
I don't
four,
know. I don't think,
five, and then
and
Kessler at the five.
we've seen Laurie as a small forward. It doesn't work. It's kind of weird. Like in Cleveland, he was
Dude,
doing that.
he was a all-star small
In
forward
Cleve
for
in
the Jazz.
Cleveland?
No, for the Jazz.
Was he playing small forward for him though when he was an
I
All-Star?
think so. Yeah.
You sure? That was like last year, right? That was 2 years ago. I thought he was starting next to Kessler.
It was
Who
2023,
was there
2024. I
for?
guess he was more of a power forward. Yeah, that's fair.
Filipowski wasn't even in the league at that point.
No, no, he wasn't.
Yeah.
I thought he played a good amount of four as
No,
well.
I don't know about like I feel like that was a whole thing. Like his saga as a three was like, what the fuck are you guys doing when he was on Cleveland? He gets traded for Donovan Mitchell, and then he becomes like they play him at the four, and he's not mobile enough to be a three. Like he can't. He could put the ball on the floor well for a 7 footer, but he is not. That is not his like position.
Yeah,
I
but it's
think.
not like I don't think the offense is the problem. It's more the defense, if anything, as like a can you guard other threes? But then again, you
Yeah,
have
I guess.
Jaren and Walker Kessler on the back line before that. I was like, that's not a big deal.
I think in
Uh,
today's NBA, having two like basically 7 footers who are as mobile as Jaren Jackson Jr. are and Laurie as your 4 and 5 is actually a good thing. Like I think that's fine.
but
And
they
Ace
can't
Bailey's also a
grab
pretty
any
big.
rebounds.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
That's why
That's why
they
you
had
hope
like
Ace Bailey's
Kessler
thing
next
comes
to him,
around.
or like they'll probably start
Yeah.
Nurkic, I would assume, because they gave him a pretty
Wait.
big deal.
Oh, I don't know. That is true. Now they have like a backlog of big. They have like 3 centers. I mean, I guess. Sorry. I guess
Maybe
Kyle Filipowski
Filipowski
could
is a
play the
four.
four.
Yeah,
Shit, bro. Is he a three? Kyle Filipowski, I feel like, has definitely played the three at some point for this team. I don't
I
know
agree.
why he gives it's weird. But yeah, I don't know. I what do you think about this? I mean, I think it's an obviously A plus for the God
Jazz,
bless you.
just the value is
Easy.
insane. Yeah,
Definitely A plus for the Jazz. And then for the Lakers, I give it like a C minus. I just feel like you could have if Mr. Robinson was available. Again, the Celtics team is clearly not even trying to win it. Like I don't know what they're doing. But
yeah.
I
I
feel
mean, I
like there
probably would
is.
have. I agree. I would have rather signed Mitchell Robinson. The idea of getting Kessler is great, but like to
Yeah,
pay this
he's a
much
good
is
player.
insane. He's like I would have
Exactly.
if I was just contract for contract, I'm okay with getting Kessler. The fact that you have to give up these
I
trade
would go
assets is
four for a
insane.
hundred. 4 for 100 is to me what Walker Kessler was worth in this free agency.
Probably,
But he
probably.
clearly thinks he's worth. I mean, they all think he's worth more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you agree with those the grades then?
Yeah, I think C minus, maybe even D is like kind of there. Dude, those
Okay.
pick that's all their picks. They don't have
Yeah. No,
anything
I think
left in the
it's
cupboard.
that's fucking
So
ridiculous.
I guess you unlock more picks next draft or whatever. But
Yeah.
like this is insane. This team is
Mm.
not that good to be, like have no draft assets.
They gave up more for Walker Kessler than arguably the Sixers gave up for Jaylen Brown,
Yep. Which we'll be
which
talking
is
about right now.
hilarious. No, wait,
Uh,
wait. Should we just finish Lakers then, real quick?
well, I was thinking we'll do all the trades first and then we'll do all the free
Oh,
agency quick
right.
stuff.
Okay,
But
yeah, my bad. Okay, yeah. Let's go to the Jaylen Brown trade.
yeah, so the Celtics trade Jaylen Brown to the Sixers for Paul George and picks. I think there's been three completely awful trades that you like, three trades that you don't see typically, like how one-sided they are. There's the Walker Kessler one, which we just talked about, Miles Bridges trade from a couple days ago, and then this trade that,
Yeah.
like you said, the Celtics get Paul George, a 2028 first round pick, which could convert to a pick swap. I think the protections on that are a little weird because it's like
Mm.
if the Sixers get a top 1 through 8 pick, they get the pick. But if it's like if it's worse than that, they get the Clippers pick or some sort of swap. So like no matter what, the
It probably
Celtics
is
get
gonna
a
be the
good pick.
Clippers pick. Yeah. Okay. So they're
No,
getting a lottery pick, basically.
yeah, they're
Okay.
getting a lottery or a decent pick. And then they
Yeah.
also get the 2031 first round pick unprotected, and then 2 second round picks for Jaylen Brown.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
just so confused. I mean, the you'd have to assume that the chemistry, like the attitude again with Jaylen Brown is just completely hit the
It's
fan. Like
totally
it's
fucked up,
over.
clearly.
It's
Yeah, I
completely
think
gone.
that has to be it.
I mean, that's
Um,
part of it, but also like the fact is you couldn't wait a bit. You had to do it right now at this moment.
what
Like it's
surprised me
not
is
like
the
it,
urgency. Yeah, like
yeah.
how quickly the turnaround was from when the Giannis trade broke, and like the news of like Jaylen Brown taking it personally to now this trade. That part is pretty crazy to me. So I mean, clearly Jaylen Brown's ego is enormous.
No, I
And
mean,
he
like I feel bad for the dude because his ego is huge and
why?
he keeps keep
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's an
no, but
ego
he
thing, right?
keeps
Like
getting shit on for it. But like this trade is insane, dude. The fact that he thinks he's like a top 10 player and he sees his value as Paul
traded for
George
this.
and
That's
one
hilarious.
pick. And Paul
Yeah.
George, like again, 25-game drug suspension. The year before he was straight ass. And he's on one of the worst contracts in the league. Like Bill Simmons, I think on this like worst contracts drafted Paul George the second, like second out of all the worst contracts in the league. And then
Who was first?
Jaylen Brown, I think Embiid, because he's getting his new extension and all the injury issues.
Well, yeah, bro also just hates the Sixers. But yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I mean, yeah, well now Paul George's on his team.
yeah,
Yeah. It's and, fuck, that amount of that trade value is wild after the best year of his career, after
yep.
willing the
No, that's
Celtics
what
to a second
he was an
seed. That
MVP
is
candidate.
crazy to me. Yes.
I am
Like it might
so
have just
lost.
honestly, it honestly might have been better if they didn't bring back Tatum. I just like because
You know
here's the
what would
thing,
have
right?
been better? They just do the Giannis trade. They go all in. Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
was this? The fact that
Yeah.
like they were so close to Giannis, like Hugo Gonzalez is the difference between Giannis and this Paul George and 2 picks. Like that's
They
crazy to
essentially
me.
they
That
chose Hugo Gonzalez and freaking
Baylor
what's his name?
Shireman. Yeah.
By Baylor Shireman over Jaylen Brown, I guess. Literally, that's what's happening.
And I
Yeah,
think a
that I
bit
don't
of
know what to
it,
say.
like I'm a guy who likes advanced stats, and I think there's this value in it, and that's been a big discussion around Jaylen Brown. Like he's a negative. People think he's a negative because his advanced stats aren't great. His regular stats are good, but like he's an on-off minus guy.
Hmm.
The lineups haven't been great with him on the floor, like I said. It's just like it's been weird. Like again, some executives said he was like the seventh best player on the Celtics.
That's
Complete.
fucking absurd. That's
That's
fucking
probably just,
absurd, dude.
like
How
exaggeration. But
dare
it's
they?
also like it does feel like that's showing in how the league values him. Because the fact is that this is the best package that they could get. I mean, I saw a report that they were like going for VJ Edgecombe and they couldn't get him. That like this has been going on for weeks and they've just been kind of whittling it down and whittling it down. It's weird. Like I think Brad Stevens here is like we got to get rid of Brown to get the salary cap
Chemistry.
to
Oh
a
yeah.
little bit figured out as well. Like Jaylen Brown's going to make $60 million, be one of the most expensive players in the league on the Supermax deal. But it's like you
You're telling
signed
me
it to him.
that
You signed him to it, right? And maybe it was a different front
yeah.
office. I don't exactly know. But you signed him to it, or like the Celtics signed up to, and he had a better year. Like by himself, he led them to a 2 seed. And then now he's this insanely like bad asset. Like Paul George and a first round pick is probably like you need to get someone to take Paul George's contract is probably adding another first round
It's
pick. This is
absurd to
one
me.
of the craziest like trades I've ever seen.
You know what
This
else
is
is
a
crazy?
top 15 caliber player for like nothing.
He was, yeah, I mean, at his best, he might have been top 10 this season.
Yeah.
Like he was what, sixth in MVP voting.
Like with
Um,
Kawhi, like it's a very similar situation, the package wise, but there are mitigating circumstances, right? The injury history. Jaylen Brown's consistently healthy, plays all his minutes, right? Another thing was the aspiration stuff, and then also the age. None of those issues here
his
with Jaylen
age is a
Brown.
huge thing.
He is
He's like,
getting better. This is his best season. I'm in shock, honestly. And I guess the chemistry issues were this bad.
I think
Like
that's the biggest thing. I
it's
really think
crazy.
I think it's his ego and the like leading to the chemistry issue that caused it. Like they're clearly very desperate to get rid of him, and I think
Hmm.
I mean there's also the thing that there's a play for like Jokic like with these picks in 2028. Um, I don't know. With the Paul George contract would make it match. That's I read it online. That's a possibility. Also a possibility with the John Morant contract in with the Blazers. But I just find it hard to believe they couldn't move him to the Blazers. I thought that would be like a slam dunk deal. You get Drew Holiday, maybe Shaden Sharp or something. I don't know. Or like maybe like I don't even know who else you take. But what? Like, come on. There's definitely better packages out there. Taking on the Paul George contract is insane.
Paul
That
George
is
is
like the
36
one
years old.
thing which is crazy. And the thing is, it's like one thing if he's a guard, right? Paul George is the same position as Jason Tatum. They literally have this exact same skill sets, only Jason Tatum is a better version of him. I don't get it. I don't get taking on that Paul George contract to me.
Again,
Uh,
like it would make a little more sense too, right? Is Paul George an expiring deal? He's not. He has 2 years left on his
no,
deal. He has a
exactly.
player
He's getting like
option, which
50
he's
million a
obviously going to
year.
accept. And yeah, he's getting
Yeah.
paid $50 million a year. So you're saving a little bit of money. I mean, I'm completely surprised by this. I mean, no young assets, like no players. It's just Paul George. That's the only player and some picks. And again,
Yeah.
fine picks. These are okay picks. And but like the Maxi's there, Edgecomb's there. You're not expecting this team to be bad.
No
Jaylen
way.
Brown is
Yeah.
there. These are
Come
these
on.
are not
Yeah.
like super far in the future pick. This is 2028, which they're going to be good, you assume, because they
That's
have three
like
good
that's
players.
literally a year, like 2 years
Yeah.
from now, or a year
And
and a
then
half from now. Max is gonna be entering his prime. VJ Trum's gonna be like 24 or 22 or 23. I don't
yeah.
even know what he is right now. And then Jaylen Brown will be like 31, maybe. Like, yeah, I think it's absurd. I don't know
This
how
is
his
crazy.
value's
Like
that low.
Brad Stevens won Executive of the Year this year. This was like one of the worst trades I may have ever seen, legitimately
Yeah.
from like in recent like NBA history, like to get a
You bailed the
superstar.
fuck out of the Sixers, bro. We've been criticizing
Yeah.
them for like
This
two
is a
years
team
for this
you
Paul
blew a
George
3-1 lead
contract.
to. You're gonna play
That's
them in the
crazy.
playoffs.
That's
Like Jaylen
crazy.
Brown is another player. Like,
I
what are
saw a
we
meme
doing?
about this. It's like beat up fucking blew up their team and we took their best player. It's like a guy
Facts.
just stabbing his head into this guy's dick over and over again. That's literally what you're doing. That's so
Yeah.
wild. Like, I don't know. What if this just turns into like a Markelle Fultz Tatum situation where Brad Stevens is just thinking like somehow, some way, like he's a genius, but I don't see it happening. Like even again, like you said on our chat, like even if Embiid is hurt, this is a play-in team at the very least. But it's probably like a top five
Again.
playoff. Like I think they're also better than the Cavs. Wow, poor Saho. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean the only way I see this working is like, okay, we literally think Jaylen Brown, like when he's on the floor, our team is worse. So,
yeah,
but then even if you're thinking that, that's fine if you think that. Other teams cannot be like not it's no way 29 other th teams are thinking the same way. Like
yeah.
it's just nuts to me.
And you know what's hilarious?
Yeah.
This is like a whole like we think about this as like a Celtics move. In reality, we should be talking about the Sixers, bro.
Yeah.
We should be saying the Sixers traded for Jaylen Brown, not the Celtics traded Jaylen Brown. This is insane. Like the
This
Sixers
is
is
nuts.
fucking twiddling their thumbs somewhere, and then Jaylen Brown gets handed to them.
I
Like
think
what the
uh
fuck?
I think FanDuel, like they were grading all the odds of like who had the best odds of getting Jaylen Brown. Last
Yeah.
place, the Sixers, 100-1.
Yeah.
Just get him. I mean, this is a great roster. Like, look at the starting lineup, right? You have Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown at the three. You sign Dean Wade, he can be your four, kind of replacing that like Kelly
And
Oubre role,
Embiid.
and then Embiid. And then you have guys off the bench like Phylon, who they just drafted, who people are really high on as being like a real scorer. You have Dominic Barlow, who had some really good promise last year as well. Adem Bona. Uh,
Okay, wow, this roster is actually falling off really fast, as you
it's
mentioned. Never
falling
mind.
off. Yeah, I'm not.
They
They
lost Quentin
draft. They got
Grimes and
Hub
they lost
Porty.
what's his name? They lost Kelly Oubre as well. They need some depth. No, I don't.
They
I
do. They
disagree with
definitely
that. I
do.
think
They
their depth
definitely do need
sucks
some
right now.
depth, but I'm not super. I think Barlow's good. I think Bona's good. I think Phylon could be good. I think those three at least could be
They
like
need some
solid.
guards, bro. What? They need some
Phylon's a
guards.
guard.
Like they. I mean, like they need like a
Yeah.
veteran guard.
Kyle Lowry,
Uh,
a veteran guard.
they could have gone after Mike Conley too, who's also on the
Mm.
Celtics now. Finally,
Justin Edwards,
uh,
solid.
Justin Evers not bad. No, they got. What? I feel like I'm forgetting someone on that team. Maybe
I
not.
don't think you are.
But the Kelly Oubre loss
And
is, I
Grimes
mean, and
and
Grimes is pretty
McCain.
significant. Yeah, I mean, they trade that
Yeah.
was ridiculous. Wow, yeah, but still, no, I mean that's a different Sixers issue. Fuck, dude, fucking slam dunk for the Sixers. Are you kidding? Getting off
Yeah.
the Paul George contract itself is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Getting a top 15 player for it is another like another
Yeah.
talking point. That's absurd.
And
Sixers, I mean,
I
yeah,
don't think the
Celtics
Paul
giving a
George
fucking F.
contract is like a complete negative because he proved his value last year. He was really good
No,
in that
he
Celtics
didn't, bro.
series.
Come on.
He was great.
Like
He was
we have
legitimately great in
such
the
a
playoffs.
low bar. for Paul George.
He was
If that is
legitimately
what
great in the playoffs,
he was
though.
an elite role player in the
He
playoffs.
averaged like 20, and then great
Did he
defense
average
on
20?
Tatum.
Can
I
you
think
actually
so.
pull up the stats? There's no shot he averaged 20 in that series.
Let's see.
He averaged like 8. I guarantee it's like 18 on like decent, like maybe like 46 from the
17 and a
field. Like,
half.
okay, on like, let me guess the shooting, like
55% from
46,
three.
42. Oh, okay. Oh, 55% from three.
55%
Okay.
from three, yeah.
From three. Oh,
And I
great.
thought he
Yeah,
was the
he's an
best
elite role
defender. He's the
player.
best defender on the roster.
He is a good defender. Yeah, I agree with that part.
Again, like
But
I think
so
he
is
fit
Jaylen
the
Brown.
no, for sure. I think he fit the role that they wanted from him. Is like when they originally signed him,
Oh,
obviously to
no,
a
that's not true, bro.
I think so.
You in 2024 in the playoffs, Paul George was the Clippers' best player. That is who the Sixers thought they were getting, and that's
I guess
not
that's
what he
fair.
was.
I guess
Look
that's
at the
fair. But like I do
contract.
think
He's not worth $50
Maxi.
million a year.
No, I
We're
agree
just so
with
used to
that.
seeing him suck. That's
I just don't
why
think he's a
it's not
negative
giving.
asset. You know what I mean? Like he's a
No,
good player
negative
too.
on the court, he is not negative.
Yeah,
But I
for the
still
contract
think
for sure.
50 million. Like, come on, Trey Young is a negative asset. That doesn't mean you want him off your
But
court, but
that's a
he's making
5 year.
$60 million.
He's on a 4 year deal. This is 2 years
Yeah,
left.
again, I agree. I agree, but I don't think a contender is looking at Paul
Yeah,
George
for sure.
like, okay,
I
I'll
mean,
take that on.
yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, no contender can even afford him to begin with, but like he's not. I don't think. I think you're giving him too much credit. Like last year's playoffs, it's just he was so fucking terrible the year before. Like we thought his career
Yeah,
was done. Right? That
yeah,
was weird. That
that's
drop
fair.
off. Right? He took some drugs. Obviously, got much better.
Yeah,
And he was an elite role player. That's what he was. He was
yeah.
like a slightly worse OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby is not a superstar, or like even he's not even an all-star yet. So I don't think it's fair to say Paul George was like the best player. Like, he was
I would
great. He
pay
was
him
very, very
40
valuable to them.
million. I would pay him
You pay
40
Paul
million
George. You pay this version of Paul George $40 million.
if he was what he is. Yeah. I mean, that's what these
He
type
was
of role players.
inconsistent in the playoffs too, dude. It's not like the
No, I
reason
mean,
he
he was
averaged
great that
17 is
entire
because he had
series.
like he look at the stats, like the game by game stats. He would have one game with like 26. He had another game with like 14. I
Again, it's a
promise. I
third
remember this
option. I'm
happening.
not expecting like insane
That's the
highs.
point. Like
And they came back from
he's being
3-1.
again, yes, but he's getting $50 million a year as a third option. That is the whole
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm
I'm saying I
connecting the
would pay him
contract
40.
back to this.
I think for a guy
I'm
like
not
OG,
paying
if you're saying
a
he's like near OG Anunoby level, like I think that's worth it. And he was
no, I
actually pretty
think for a
consistent.
series, he was at OG Anunoby. Oh, for a series, he was almost at OG Anunoby level, but he is not close to OG Anunoby to me
Yeah, yeah.
um over the course of the season. So I don't think like this version of Paul George, I'm giving maybe 35 million to. Even that seems high because of his age and his like durability over the
Yeah,
course of
yeah.
the
That's
season.
fair.
So like whatever, we're going way too deep into this. I get what you're saying. Yeah, he was great in the playoffs considering how bad he has been and how much we've criticized him for his contract. I agree. Yeah. So yeah, I don't even think we need to give grades. I think it's an A plus and a fucking F minus, dude. Like there's
Yeah,
no
that's what it
to me
feels
there's
like.
no
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then another
it's
thing with
ridiculous.
Jaylen Brown, he matches with the Embiid like contract year wise. So like if you
Oh,
have another
interesting.
3 years of Jaylen Brown, another 3 years of Embiid, this is just a 3 year window to try to compete. And you're not going to
Yeah.
be getting rid of that Embiid contract. So like go all in for this window, and then maybe you can trade those guys right before. Like it's not
Mm,
working for a couple years, you trade them a year before, and you can get some assets out of it. I think like
did you?
this is a
Yeah.
complete switch of like we thought this direction of this franchise was kind of like going downhill. VJ kind of
Exactly. You're so right.
went a little
Yes.
better, but like this is a big shift. Like it makes you feel like this is like the
It's
Luka
a
Doncic
clean
trade.
slate. If
You know
they
what I
want
mean?
a clean slate, they have it basically. Like you get off the older generation of players all at the same time, and again, Jaylen Brown is also he's
This is
like
like
you can still trade him if
I'm
you want.
comparing this
Yeah.
to the Luka trade of the East. Like that's what it feels like to me. Like the Luka trade again, a little different, obviously, but the like Anthony Davis is better than Paul. Paul George is like I was hyping
And
him
he's
up, but he's a good. The difference is
much better than Paul
crazy.
George.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. No, it's like, but I mean, you could argue at that point the difference between Luca and that. I think I think it's not that different. I think the like Jaylen Brown is to Luca as Paul George is to AD in terms of like,
Maybe.
especially
I don't
now.
know.
Like, look at AD now
AD the beginning of that season though was really, really
was
good.
amazing, and the
But
Lakers
then
were
he got
good.
hurt. And then
Yeah,
yeah. But I
and
think
LeBron was
comparing
playing
him to
well
what he
without
is
him.
now is a little unfair. That's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think you're right. I think again, like I get what you're saying. It definitely like Luka's trade was a little more absurd, but like I
For
totally
sure.
get it, and it's
But
a
it
fucking
feels like
ridiculous
that
trade
where
is
it
the
kind of
point.
it's such a bad trade from a team. I mean, from a big franchise and then like it kind of shifts the direction of the franchise. Like the Lakers, you thought were going downhill. LeBron's old,
Yeah, there's
AD's
no
old,
future after
and this
LeBron.
shit just changes so quickly because of this deal. And I feel the same way about the Sixers. That's
I
kind of what
agree. I
my
mean,
point
not
is right
to
there.
not to not to disagree with. I agree, but not to devalue your comparison more. But like that Lakers trade was truly unnecessary. This one, like Jaylen Brown was getting down,
That's
but
fair.
that one,
No,
I
for sure.
cannot believe that even
That is
happened. I
fair. Yeah,
cannot
yeah, yeah.
believe that happened. Okay, sorry. Yeah, let's move on to our last couple things to
Mhm.
talk about today. So let's just quick some signing stuff and we can
Yeah,
get
yeah.
out of here.
Let's I will go through basically all the signings. We'll start with Tim Hardaway Jr. to the Heat for 1 year, 6.5 million. I think a great signing.
Perfect.
They need shooting. They lost Norman Powell, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah.
You're getting a really good deal for him. 6.5 million. He was like third and fourth, sixth man of the year. Like that's a
He
great
was good
player.
in the playoffs, I feel like too, right? Wasn't he?
I
Or
don't
maybe at
think
least at
so.
the start of the
Maybe
he
a
had
couple
one
good
good game
games.
maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Um, but he's gonna get the best looks of his life playing next to Giannis and
Yep.
like Bam and even Wiggins. Yeah,
All right.
good signing, great signing. Continue.
Next, we have Keon Ellis to the Nets. Not much to talk about. For 2 years, 18 million more than Tim Hardaway Jr. After
Feels like a
Keon kind of
lot.
that
Yeah,
feels like a lot personally.
it
Uh,
definitely is a lot. Yeah, 9 million a
but
year feels
Brooklyn
like a
has
lot.
money, so like I get it at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're just filling out their roster, but I think it's more important to talk about the Cavs losing him, and I don't
Yeah,
think it means anything to the Cavs because he wasn't great for them anyway.
exactly. He really didn't play
Yeah,
much in the playoffs at
yeah.
all.
That's
Uh,
like the main talking point. Knicks, I mean, next, I don't even know what you're doing. You have enough guards on that roster, but whatever,
exactly.
bro. You do
Moving
you.
on to the Suns, they grabbed Luke Kennard for a 2 year, $13 million contract. Basically, their Grayson Allen replacement after they traded him away for Miles Bridges.
Yeah,
You got a
he was
shooter.
good for a few games in the playoffs. It's
Yeah, he was
good.
great
It's
for the games. Yeah.
yeah, and then he's fell off completely. Yeah, I think it's a good signing. I think again, Sun's not really sure what the hell they're doing. They're just trying to stay relevant in some way.
hmm
But this is definitely yeah, Luka Doncic's good.
Like in theory, getting Miles Bridges to replace Royce O'Neal and Luke Kennard to replace Grayson
Grayson
Allen,
Allen
good. But the
makes you
fact that they
better,
give
I
up that pick
guess.
is just crazy to me still.
So there's no reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Then the 76ers signed Dean Wade to from the Cavs, 4 years, 39 million. I'm a fan of this. I thought Dean Wade's a very good player. And now with this Jaylen Brown deal in hindsight, he's just the perfect four there. You need a guy who can like really block down with these
Just
two
hit the
smaller
three,
guards.
bro. You
And
need
if
him to
he
hit the
he
three.
shot
That's the big thing.
39% from three last year. He can shoot. He's a very low volume guy. He doesn't really do anything on offense. He can very much be invisible. But for a guy, they have four guys on the floor now with
Who
Embiid,
can create? Yeah.
Jaylen Brown, VJ, and who can create. So like he just needs to exist and not
What
be
did he
too
shoot
much
in
of
the
a
playoffs
negative.
from three? Out of curiosity.
I can look it up, but I wouldn't expect great things, TBH,
They're probably on very low volume anyway, but
for sure. He shot 37.5% on 2.7 attempts. So yeah, like you said, low volume, but decent
he can
efficiency.
hit the open ones. Yeah, he'll get good
Yeah.
shots. I mean, he's definitely good defensively. He's definitely a great fit, especially because he's big. Like
Yep.
Jalen Brown's like somewhat of an undersized three. Like he's like 6'7". Dean Wade's like a pretty big,
Yeah,
like
he's like 6'10.
versatile 3-4. So yeah, I like that fit
Um,
for defense at least.
for sure. And they like them. Jaylen Brown's strong. He can guard probably the bigger,
Yeah,
stronger wings. Dean Wade can guard the guards. VJ can guard as well. Like it's a good defensive infrastructure. Embiid at his best can be
yeah.
a great rim protector. Like that's a fun team as well. Okay. Moving on, we have Rockets get Marcus Smart on 2 years, $13
Mm,
million. Um,
yeah, good
I
deal,
think
I
it's a great
guess.
deal.
Marcus Smart cooked
Yeah.
them. He cooked them in the playoffs, so they signed him. That makes
Yeah.
total sense. They could use
Ime
another
loved
shooter. Yeah.
Ime loved Marcus Smart as like when he was on the Celtics
Yeah,
on that
forgot about
2022
that. Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
I think it's a great fit. Kind of like gives you that alternate point guard as well. Like he kind of fits like in a Josh Okogie role where he's like that big body defender, but he can also play point guard for you and
And
sometimes
he's a
make
super
mistakes,
willing
but
shooter. I feel like the
yeah,
Rockets need someone who is like will take the shots. It
right.
feels like, funnily
And
enough,
a
feels like
leader as
Aaron
well.
Holiday is like, yeah, it's true. It's true. And he fits like in terms of hustle, obviously he fits him well. But it feels like Aaron Holiday was that guy who's like super willing to just shoot for the Rockets, and everyone else is kind of like, I don't know, like indecisive at times. Marcus Smart, to a fault, honestly, is not indecisive offensively.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, moving
I mean,
on.
he
The
was like, yeah,
Pistons, uh, they get John Collins. This is kind of their big move. They
yeah, I
spent
don't
3 years,
like
51 million on him. I assume they're getting Duran back. It feels like they're just gonna re-sign him, match whatever deal that happens, unless they do get like a sign and trade where Duran's like, I don't want to be on this team, and they have to kind of sign and trade him. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. I just feel like they need more shooting. They got Isaiah Joe, which is a good shooter, but like
They
they don't
got
have
rid of
another ball
Duncan
handler.
Robinson,
I
which
think
is crazy.
I think Chris Haynes said they're actually keeping Duncan Robinson. I don't know.
Wait,
There's
are
a
they?
weird rumor. Yeah.
I think like quickly like 30 seconds on the Pistons. Like, what did we learn from them? We learned in the regular
Mhm.
season they're an elite defense. What did they struggle with in the playoffs? They need another ball handler and a shot creator, and they didn't get that in
Yeah.
these.
I mean,
And they got more
Tobias
shooting.
Harris was their secondary
Was
shot
their second
creator,
best exactly, and he's
and they're
gone. And
replacing him with John Collins, who can't really do that. He's a
no,
complete off-ball player. So I
yeah,
don't love it personally.
and their
But you know,
defense is getting worse. Like they lost Isaiah Stewart, and they're replacing him with John Collins.
yeah.
Like, come on. And Tobias Harris is a better defender than John Collins too. So
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing with this move.
I
Yeah,
guess
this
they're
was a good
hoping that
trade.
like you can, go small ball a little bit. Like they didn't really have that option last year. I think that's something that gives them some
With who?
optionality.
Like John Collins
John
at the
Collins
five? I mean,
center? Yeah,
Isaiah
for sure.
Stewart is the same size as John Collins though, dude.
I
He's just not
mean,
maybe
it's
he's
not
not as
small ball
mobile.
if he can't really shoot. Isaiah Stewart can
He
shoot.
can't he can
He can
shoot.
shoot, but this is John
Not
Collins.
this
John
year,
Collins is a
but
legit shooter.
he's a willing shooter, yeah.
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 And
But
he's a
again, the
willing shooter
defense
and
is
he can
just
really
fucking
shoot.
atrocious.
40% from three the last 2 seasons. And he's a,
Yeah.
he's a lob threat
High
as well.
Yeah.
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 Moving on, the Bulls signed Norm Powell and bring back Zach Collins. Don't really care about Zach Collins. I saw some tweet about him where like I feel like he's had this exact deal for the last 6 seasons, but like I've just never seen him play, which I feel like is very true. I've
Yeah.
never seen Zach Collins play. But Norm Powell got 2 years,
Like
45 million for the Bulls.
whatever. I don't even know why, but I
I
guess
don't mind it because the Bulls like they don't have any shooting on that starting lineup.
yeah.
It's
Gideon.
Caleb
Who even
Wilson,
is their point
Modest,
guard?
Giddy.
Rob Dylan. I mean, like they're two guard before
Norm.
Norm Powell was on the
Oh,
roster.
that's why they
Was
needed
it
the
like
two.
Rob? I thought Giddy was playing like a
I think
two and a one
Simons is a
two.
free agent, like the
Oh
maybe if they
yeah,
brought him back. But he was out, so like we never really know what the role was there.
yeah. Norm Powell's like
And they
whatever. I
have
guess he
Claxton starting,
becomes
so like
tradable and
he's like
he
their only shooter, really. So
that
I like the
sucks.
fit there.
It's like fine. Like the Bulls are gonna be mid. I don't see the point in like yeah, spend your money I
Yeah.
guess, and maybe you could trade him to a contender.
Dude, I'm telling
One
you,
funny thing,
you got to be
yeah,
mid now. Like it doesn't matter to be bad. Why not
with
be
the new
mid?
lottery odds, yeah, I
Yeah, why
guess.
not be mid?
Get those guys to win some games for like the young people. I think Trey on No Dunk said Norm Powell, he only plays for red and black teams. The Chicago Bulls now, Blazers, Heat, Toronto Raptors. So funny. That's so
That
funny.
is wild.
Obviously
Yeah,
Clippers he played for too. Even the
yeah,
Clippers have like an alternate like dark blue and red
yeah,
jersey, which
yeah.
is funny. That's hilarious.
Only plays for red teams, huh?
That
Maybe
is
the
very
Hawks are
funny.
next. All right. Now the Lakers signed their three kind of big
Just
fishes
kept
other than
getting
after getting
these.
Kessler. Quentin Grimes got 4 years, 60 million.
Yeah.
Sandro Mamukelashvili got 4 years, 52 million, and Colin Sexton got
Mhm.
2 years, 19 million.
These
What
are
do you
all
think about these deals?
they're all A's. I think Colin Sexton for like 9.5 million is a great deal. I think Quentin Grimes, I mean, we've seen like even him as like a primary creator. Like he off the bench, he's gonna be like your number one option. He was great for
Yeah,
what's it
he might
called?
start. It's him or
Luca Reeve.
Laravia. Like,
I thought it's gonna be Luca. I would expect it to be Luca Reeves Laravia. And
I
then
think
like
Grimes could
maybe
start.
Mamu Kessler.
I think Mamu
Really?
Kessler. I think Grimes starts. Yeah,
It's kind of a small-ish.
yeah. But then Luca's 6'7". There's Reeves is 6'5". Grimes is six
No, I
five.
don't know.
That's not as
The
small as you would think.
Yeah,
And
but
then
the
you need someone
defense
to
is
really
just you
guard.
need some
Grimes can
length.
guard.
I don't know. Yeah, who's gonna guard the wings, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, with
I
Luca
would
and Reeves as
expect
your
Reeves. I mean, Reeves can like somewhat keep up with a guard, but like if you have like a 6'8" wing, like who the fuck is guarding Jaylen Brown?
Grimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I would expect Grimes to come off the bench just because he can create for himself better than Arabia can. Obviously, they'll stagger Reeves and Luka. This isn't worth discussing, but like I do like it a lot. Like Grimes is like we've seen him like for the Sixers 2 years ago as like a number one option. Even this year as a role player, he was really good. He averaged like 15. He could shoot three
Yeah.
ball well. He could play defense, whatever. I think they're
I
all
don't know.
really good signings, actually. You don't like the signing?
I'm kind of mid on all of them. Grimes,
Really? Like, what do you? Why?
like Grimes is he's not like complete 3 and D. I feel like he likes to ball handle too much,
Yeah,
where I don't think he's that great at it. Like, he had that stretch when everyone was out for the Sixers where he was
yeah,
like, kind of nuclear. He's like
crazy.
fine. Like I don't think he's like a real 3 and D player and then has some moments. Like he's just not like a super great role player in my
You
opinion.
think Rui is better than him?
I do think Rui's better than him.
Wow. Okay.
And then Mamu,
Rui
I
doesn't play a
like
lick
this.
of defense though. Oh yeah, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, but I just think that the shooting is insane, dude. And the
But
size
so
is
is
like
Grimes shooting. The size,
he's
yeah, the size is
fine.
fair.
He's not that great. You think
What
he's
did
better
he
than
shoot from
shooter than
three? Maybe,
33%
maybe.
last season.
Oh,
Like he's not as good as you think he is what I
yeah. He
mean.
just looks sexy when he plays. Yeah, I guess.
Mamu, I
Sexton, you
like
don't like
him.
it? Yeah,
He's a good player. I think 4 years might be a little rich because he's had one real good
he's
season in
old
the
too.
league.
What is he? Like
Um,
27, 28?
Probably.
He
Uh,
feels old.
he is 27.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, he played a lot of small ball five, so like I just questioned, can he be a real starting four?
Mm.
Especially like when you had a guy who with Rui that just made sense at that position. And then Colin Sexton, he's good. I just never like has he ever had like a winning season? I think he's like one of those players who's like been bad on
Oh, you're
every
right.
team.
Oh yeah. No, no, no.
So
You're
like
he's in that list of like. I don't think he's ever
most
made the
I think he's
playoffs.
like
No, he
yeah, he's
made.
like
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
he hasn't
Yeah.
made the playoffs. I think he's like one of the lo most losingest players in NBA history. Like he has like the longest streak for most seasons not making
It's
the
not his
playoffs.
fault though, bro. He was
I
on the
agree.
Cavs to open his
I
career right when LeBron left, and then he's on the Jazz. Like most recently, he's on the Hornets, who
yeah.
barely missed the playoffs. He's good. Like he'll make the playoffs this year.
No, I agree. I'm not saying that. I just don't think like I think this is a fine contract for him. I'm just like, is he like that? I don't know. I don't think he's like that great where I'm like
He's not
super impressed with any of
significant
these
enough
signings.
of a player on any of these rosters where you can assign him blame for them not making the playoffs, is my point, I guess, right? Like he's a role player on all these rosters. And if he was like,
On the
even if
Cavs,
he
he
was a
was
little
definitely like a
better,
real starter.
well,
Same with
he
the
would, no, but I
Jazz.
mean, like, but
He
he's
averaged
not
20
like,
on the Jazz.
he's good. He shot the three ball at 40% to one of those years, and he was known as not a shooter out of Alabama. Like he was definitely he's a good he could play, he could give you 15 a game. He at least tries on defense. He competes. And he seems like just a good like guy to have in the locker room, honestly, just because of his like ferocity. I fuck with him. And more importantly, I like the deal. I like that it's only 8 million. I think that's a great deal for him. Because he's not even old. He's like 28, 27. I don't know, we
Yeah.
said Mama was old, but we talked about it's a 4 year deal for the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
age. Mama just looks so old, bro.
He does look old.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, again,
yeah.
these are all like C's to me. I'm not super impressed. I just like the offseason's been fine. I don't, it's not
What's
like
the
I was starting a
alternative,
lot.
bro?
Like
Who do you
defense,
want?
like I like athleticism. I'm not impressed with any of the athleticism on this like
Mama's not a
roster.
bad defender.
He's
Mama's like
fine again,
fine.
but like you're not like none of these players are athletic. Um, None of them are elite shooters. Like Colin Sexton's fine, but he's not like he's a primary ball handler. So he's like none of
Yeah,
them are like
he's a good shot
real
creator,
stationary
but
shooters. So it's like none of
I
them
don't
really
hate
fill
Sexton
the
and Grimes off your bench if you can get like a 3 and D guy.
like you're
I don't know
you're
who
paying
is there.
Grimes as a starter.
What is he making, 15 mil?
Yeah, 15 mil a year.
Hmm. I don't
And you're
know. That's
paying
not
Mamu as
starter,
a
bro. We're
starter.
talking about Paul, where you're giving Paul George credit for 50 mil, bro. 15 mil is nothing compared to that. Like, and he's like saying, oh, he's getting starter money. 15 mil. I don't know if that's
Oh, he's
starter
getting
money
elite role
anymore.
player money.
Yeah, he's getting good role player money.
No,
Paul
he's getting
George, on the
superstar
other hand,
money.
yeah.
I'm saying he should be getting elite role player money, which is like 35, 40 mil.
Paul George. No, no, I know.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
fine. Let's go back
yeah.
to Quentin Grimes. I feel like 15 is like,
No,
I
I
think
think
that's
it's
reasonable.
fine. I just don't think like I don't think they match what they need, which is athleticism, defense. Like you have enough
Who
offense
do
with
they
Luca.
get?
Um, I think I don't have a name. I feel like keeping Marcus Smart would have been great. Um,
I think Quentin Grimes is better than Marcus, but I know they need defense. I get it. I get that
Dean
part
Wade
of
would have
it,
been
right?
good.
Honestly, D'Anthony Melton would have been excellent for that.
D'Anthony
That would
Melton
have
would have
been
been
a very
good.
good signing for him.
Robert Williams, I guess that's not like that big of a deal because he's a
Mm.
center. Yeah, D'Anthony Melton, Dean Wade, those kind of guys
Dude,
would have
you're
been good.
overrating Dean Wade a bit to me.
They
I
need
don't know.
defense is my point. They don't have any good role
Yeah, I
defenders.
get like they got Walker Kessler and like, they got
And
Mamu, and I
shit,
don't know.
like Mamu's okay. This is like not impressing me at all.
Yeah, no, they're still not good, but I just think they signed a lot. They signed good players, maybe not the need, but there's not a lot of players that fit that. Like all the guys who fit that need are either too expensive or they're on teams.
No,
Like the people
D'Anthony
they get
Melton,
picked
Dean
up fast.
Wade, those are guys.
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah.
prioritize
D'Anthony
them.
Melton
Mitchell
went back
Robinson,
to
like
the
you said.
Warriors though. Like Dean Wade left. That's a valid
Kelly
reason. You
Oubre,
could
I would have
fit.
been happier with.
Kelly Oubre would have been a nice one. That would have been a really
Yeah.
good. That's a good one. That's a legit one that you could have bought. That would have been a really good pickup for him actually. He's gotten so much better since leaving the Warriors.
Yeah.
Makes you
He was
think.
terrible. The
He
worst.
was so bad. Oh
Yeah.
my God. He took like 5 games to make a three. That was crazy. And I was
All
really
right.
excited about that signing too.
Last couple
What's left?
signings.
Yeah.
We got the Warriors bringing back D'Anthony
Yeah.
Melton, 2 years, 11 million. That's a great deal. I mean, A
I thought
plus.
he'd get way more. I was sure he
Yeah.
would get at least 10, $15 million. I think he's better than Quentin Grimes as a role player.
Yeah, I think the only
He's
question really
so
with him
smart,
is
dude.
I think he's
Yeah.
expecting to, decline his player option, get somewhere else. But yeah, the
Yeah.
question is his three. He shot 29% from three last year after a
It's
big
anomalous
injury.
that he
Yeah.
started off really bad though. Like the three ball
But
came around and then it became inconsistent again, but like he is a better shooter than 29% for sure.
yeah. And then moving on,
Yeah,
Celtics get Mitchell Robinson, 3 years, 47 million. I think
I
that's
like
another
it.
great deal.
Yeah, I
Um,
liked it before they made the Paul George show. Now I don't know what the fuck the point is of paying Mitchell Robinson that money if your team is just like mid, but
they're
hey,
gonna be
try to win.
good. That
Who
you think
knows?
they're
They
mid.
might be the same as last year.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. They could just be really good. Like
They
I'm
really
not.
could with elite role player Paul George, bro. Like who
And
knows what's
again,
gonna
Jaylen
happen?
Brown, every lineup he was in was a negative. He was all the metrics said he was bad. Maybe he was.
Wild.
Maybe that's true. Maybe it points to being true. I mean, the numbers don't lie.
Whatever. Yeah.
I'm not expecting it. I'm not expecting them to be a contender, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if they were top 6 seed for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think so.
Especially with like Missoula ball and the amount of shooters they have. Like that's just how their offense is going to be good. Defense could be very good with Mitchell Robinson
It's the
kind of helping
same
that back
team.
line.
They just have Paul George and Tatum now to start the year instead of just Jaylen Brown. And now they have Mitchell Robinson and Mike Conley too. Everything else is exactly the same. And all their young guys, Baylor Shireman, Luka Garza, or not Luka Garza, sorry. What's his name? We'll get slightly better. Hugo
Luka
Gonzalez. That
Gonzalez,
was
yeah,
racist.
yeah.
Yeah, that was racist. Yeah, you get a little better.
And
So
yeah, Mike Conley was another signing they have. I
mhm.
don't know how much he's making yet. It's not out yet. Last
Mhm.
couple deals, Spurs get Tobias Harris. That's their big signing, 2 years,
I
31
like
million.
that.
I like it a lot too. They just didn't have any big wings that they can really play consistent minutes.
Better
Keldon
than
Johnson
Harrison
was
Barnes for sure.
awful.
Yeah.
Harrison Barnes was awful. It just hopefully, I mean, Tobias Harris has been hit or miss throughout his playoffs, but they
He
needed
hits the big
another
shots
guy.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need another guy. The question is, does he start? I think he's going to come off the bench. I think they'll keep their Champagne lineup, because they did also extend him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to be a great addition to the roster, and like again, another vet for a young team also helps.
I agree.
Yeah, and then last one, Kelly Oubre, 2 years, 17 million for the Pacers, which now they have Neesmith,
I
Nemhard, Ben
like it.
Shepherd, Oubre as their kind
A
of last
bunch of
3-and-D
hustle
wing.
players, bro. Those
Yep.
guys are super annoying to play against. I like it. He can run and dunk. He can shoot the basketball. He can shoot corner threes. I guess he
hmm
can handle the ball a little bit. Can get to the line a little bit. I like it. I like it a
Yeah, I
lot.
agree. I mean, the pace that the Pacers play with, just great fit. I think Oubre can really, like you said, run in the fast break, can cut really well, can
Yep.
shoot just everything you need in like a role player. And he's a good defender. He's a solid defender, so I don't mind it at all. And those are all the
All
free
right.
agency signings of days one
For
and two, I
now,
guess. Yeah.
we'll be back to
But I
catch you
mean,
guys soon.
I would be
Yeah.
very shocked if anything else big happened because I mean, other than LeBron, that's the real question mark at this point.
LeBron. Yeah, that's the only guy left.
Yeah.
And I guess Anthony Davis saga is kind of cooked, but yeah,
Yeah.
LeBron. Can't wait for that. I think the next time we do one of this, like there's not that much left. The next time will probably be post LeBron, probably, given that we're taking this break at least till Monday.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see.
It seems like
And
LeBron's taking
this,
his time too, so hopefully
yeah,
it'll
I mean,
work
free
out.
agency is what, 12 days now?
What do you mean?
Is it 12? Is it not 12? Is it 12 days?
Like,
How long does free agency last?
oh, I think it just lasts as long as it does, doesn't it? I
Does
think
it? Is
it's
that actually fuck? I don't know why I'm like thinking like this. I swear there's like days. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. We'll be back at you guys soon. And yeah, follow us on all socials and excited to see where LeBron goes. So yeah,
yep.
thanks so much for listening.